haven't put any tags on or anything this time, so who knows. I think I fixed it, but we'll find out. Basically, there was on the actual configure video thing, it was a whole separate thing. I went and turned the volume down there.
Yeah.
Remember, like when it wouldn't produce video when we first tested, wouldn't produce audio at all when we first tested it. So I think basically that's what I did was like I went onto that same menu and turned it down there. So I'm going to turn the game volume up ever so slightly, and there we go.
Right.
That's probably too loud to be honest, but
can hear us now.
So I'm going to turn the game.
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Jesus, I sound like a robot. We're almost definitely going to be getting robot voice comments now in the chat, aren't we? That's probably too loud.
Yeah, so you can hear us both.
What is it?
We can check that. Just like.
I've changed the settings on it to like just basically the standard ones that I always use. Just take a look in the chat for a moment.
Yeah, they can hear us now.
Any complaints about robot voice? Because that's what I was trying to do. I might just do the mic. Or...
They can hear you guys better now. Can hear you now. Nothing about robot voice so far. Hi guys, we're just checking on this.
Get no shit, Toad, I figured that out.
Will you stream Wii Music? We don't have that.
We don't have Wii Music.
No.
Okay, so since people can hear us now, I guess we should probably talk a little bit about what we're doing on the stream. So we wanted to stream just some Wii games, basically, because it's weird, but like nobody is nostalgic for the Wii.
No.
It was a huge thing. Like everyone had one. Like you couldn't go to like your friend's house without. Usually, like the parents had it as well. Like the parents had it in the living room. This remote is really loud. There you go. The parents usually had one, but it's not an old enough thing for people to be nostalgic for. So we thought, dust it off during quarantine. We found ourselves getting pretty nostalgic for it. We've played through Resident Evil 4 on normal. Gemma's now playing through it in her own time on professional, which I'm not involved in because that's way too much of a ball ache for me. We were going to play House of the Dead 2 and 3 Return, but it does not work at all. Basically, the calibration's all fucked up and you can't fix it. When you try to fix it, no matter where you put the sensor bar, above the TV, below the TV, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What ends up happening is, no matter where you point it, it's like you have to point it at these targets to calibrate. So, you played live games before, and when you attempt it, it just goes, you are pointing outside of the desired area. I'm not. I'm pointing exactly at where it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fucked, basically. It's a shame because House of Dead 2 is a really funny game with some bad voice acting. And I'm not terrible at it, so I thought it could be a fun thing for the two of us to stream together as kind of co-op. The way Toby and I used to do things on the old show, and I just thought that'd be fun, but it doesn't work. So instead we're playing Super Mario Galaxy, which is a game I love. Gemma hasn't played very much of, so this is kind of fairly new for you, and we've played for a few days now, on and off. This plus Mario Kart, we've basically just been using the two of those games.
Yeah.
And obviously Resident Evil 4, we just didn't stop playing.
Yeah, we played Resident Evil 4, and I'm now playing on professional.
But that's part of the fun. Oh, look, it's Luigi. There he is, like, he's chilling. He's vibing.
Yeah, for the most part, people are just replying to our or what we're saying, but I was saying like a couple people are saying it's slightly echoey.
I wonder if I can fix that anyway.
But apart from that, everyone is hearing us.
But it's a bit echoey, alright. Let's see if I can fix that.
Yeah, we're gonna try and fix the audio. Obviously, now you can hear us. The Wee is a large duck. You'll have to laugh at his antics, so a cat will eat him and you won't even notice. I'm going to continue I'm going to continue to speak so you can continue to give us
basically.
an idea of how it's
I don't know, like,
sounding.
it's weird because it's the same microphone in the same software we always use.
Yeah.
So it's weird. It's a weird thing. It's difficult for me to try to fix because it's not a problem I'm used to facing.
Yeah.
Typically, it works fine.
That's better.
I can just turn it down.
Yeah, it sounds better now.
Yeah, I just went into some settings and fucked with them a bit. Like, there's no actual... I'm sure there is a right way, I just don't know it. So I was like, I'll just fuck with the settings a bit. That seems to have fixed it.
By the way, yes, the fact it doesn't sound like Shadow the Hedgehog, some English bloke, is because this is kind of like a test that we're doing.
So we want to make sure that... basically, we've been having techie troubles, as you can see. So we'd rather not be having tech troubles when we're doing a stream that we were paid to do. So, yes, we are still going to be doing Shadow the Hedgehog. Obviously, we were paid for it. We're going to do it. But we're going to just have a bit of, good, clean family fun.
Yeah.
Play some... I was going to call this Sonic then. Play some Mario. Yeah, play a good game. Play Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, everyone's saying the audio's fixed now. So.
Excellent. I rule!
That's it. To boo Mario. Boo.
Boo Mario. Boo Mario, boo.
Yeah. And Patrician of Horror says, Yo Jacob, I've got around 40 cards already designed.
Sick!
Thank you, awesome.
Yeah, we need to have Discord chat. I'm sorry I couldn't make it to the last one. But yeah, we need to have a Discord call and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Get crack-a-lack-in, as the Emperor Penguins are wont to say. How do you ascend? There we go.
How do you ascend?
I like that the other boo falls in love with you. That's cute.
The F in the chat for the brave lad who blew $100 on a meme. Can't you stream a good game like Crash 3 Warped?
So, interestingly, the question that no one asked, is it worth dusting off the Wii that's probably in your parents' attic during quarantine in the year 2020?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, these games are still really fun. And honestly, like, it's from that era of gaming when they were starting to get the graphics right. So things don't really look like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't look great. They're a little bit muddy, but they don't look terrible.
Yeah, like,
the resolution's fairly nice, I think. It's just that some of the textures are a bit flat, but... we were playing Resident Evil 4, which was a game... which is an old GameCube game, obviously, but adapted for the Wii. And again, it just was still really fun.
It was.
Like I say, the graphics weren't horrible by any means. The gameplay's still great because... these controllers are not unlike what Nintendo's doing now with the Switch. You've just got two pieces that you hold separate from each other.
But now they've released the Wii Lite, or whatever it is, not the Wii Lite, the Switch Lite, that's what it's called. What was I going to say? Yeah, we've also been playing games like the Umbrella Chronicles and Dark Side Chronicles, and...
Yeah, the light gun seems to work on them, just not on the House of the Dead, which is the one I wanted to play.
Yeah. Are you still working on the Bad Creepypasta game and movie?
Yes and no. These projects are still happening, but they're kind of in the background. They're not priority one right now. Gracie is the #1 priority in terms of projects to work on. As soon as quarantine's over, that's getting a release, and then after that, we've got another movie. Basically, the whole premise behind the Bad Creepypasta movie doesn't work without other projects already existing, just because of how the story works.
Yeah.
So it's always been a project for later.
Yeah.
In terms of the game, that's pretty much on hiatus until I hear from the guy who's developing it. Basically, we haven't spoken in a little while. But there are other projects we're working on. I don't want to, announce anything formally because this is going to sound mean. I'm not calling any of you guys impatient. It's simply that people don't always understand how long things take, which is fine,
Yeah.
And I don't want to try and sit here and absolve myself of responsibility when I haven't got something done, because then I end up sounding like fucking Yandere Dev.
Yeah, we don't want to sound like Yandere
Which
Dev.
is not it by any means.
Hey,
I just got the Rona. That's it.
hey, Cobe or Gemma, either of you ever seen any Jeff the Killer clones, aka slasher pastas, that are actually good and not edgy crap? No.
No. Quick answer, but it's no.
Yeah. Gracie is the greatest C. C as in watch. I'm clever like that.
Silence. Oh my god, that boo's got a little crush helmet on, and I think I love him. I think he's my son.
Honestly, like, all the characters in this are so cute. That's pretty much going to be my commentary for the most part.
Just us having major Reddit moments.
Yeah, we've
It's
got
like,
like
oh, this game is so wholesome.
we have like so many consoles in this house. Just like even stuff that we don't use.
Yeah.
Just like sort of like a collector, like.
Well,
like,
because there are ones that we have that we just break out every once in a while. I think that's part of the advantage of having a child in the house as well, who's like most children loves video games.
And doesn't mind playing the retro ones either. Like.
I think with like most kids, he'll if there's video, it's like I'll play that. Cool. It beats doing homework.
Yeah. Plus, he absolutely loves the Nintendo 64 and obviously the SNES as well.
I could go and explore, but I'm not gonna. Woo!
Happy Mother's Day, Gemma. Oh, thank you. I know that it's Mother's Day in the US, although it was Mother's Day back in March.
Because you know what, Mothering Sunday, that's the real shit. Okay, that has a biblical basis. All right.
So obviously.
Not just like secular Mother's Day crap from America.
Even though.
Our good God-fearing Mothering Sunday in Britain. That's what you need to be on.
But apparently Father's Day is
the same,
secular.
Yeah. Father's Day is also the same day, I think.
No, it's not.
Oh, is it not?
No, it changes. It's a secular day. And it sort of just gets chosen. It's not part of the church.
That's the church simping. That's what that is.
Do you have a
The
Sega?
church are a bunch of simps.
Do you have a Sega Dreamcast?
I will very soon. Well, I won't. Logan will. I had one and then I had to sell it because rent is a thing. But I have a slightly more regular job now than I used to, so it's a bit easier for me to get that money. Well, I'm dead. Well, it will be when quarantine's over anyway. Right now it's kind of hard for me to get that money when quarantine's over. So Logan's birthday's coming up, and I'm getting him a few interesting little gifts, but I've also got him a Sega Dreamcast because he has he's kind of fixated on Choo Choo Rocket.
Yeah.
I think he watched a Dan Ibbotson video on it or something, and now he just loves it. And I used to love that game years back. I used to play it with my friends. I don't know if any of those guys are aware that I'm streaming right now. If they are, what's up, guys? But we always used to play Choo Choo Rocket together at my old house and get drunk and order pizza. It's like a ritual almost of a weekend.
What's Logan's next film project once the quarantine's over?
So I don't know if you're subscribed to his channel, you would have seen his announcement video. He's got a film he's doing called The Man Who Wouldn't Die, or maybe it's The Man Who Couldn't Die.
Man Who Couldn't Die.
Man Who Couldn't Die, which is a sort of Frankenstein-esque movie. It's a bit more 1950s style. It's kind of halfway between a Atomic Age kind of movie and a Frankenstein movie, which is exactly the kind of thing he really likes. He's working on that, and he's also put another project on the back burner, which is called The Mask of Dracula, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's kind of like Snicks. It's about a cursed mask.
Oh, thank you so much, Jesse Pasquini. You sent us $50.
Oh, thank you. Most kind.
So I've been wanting to donate to you guys for a long time. I'm in a place where I can afford to give you guys the same type of help you guys have given me over the years.
When did I give you $50?
Here's to another 3 years with you guys. Love y'all. I appreciate it.
I mean, I'm not calling you a liar. I'm just saying, I don't remember giving you $50.
Probably other type of help.
Well, you said the same. The motherfucker said the same type of help.
I
How does that feel? You give me some money, I just insult you. I'm kidding around. Please, for the love of God, don't leave.
Yeah,
I'm so lonely.
I really appreciate that, and it's really really sweet of you.
Do 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 do.
Are you going to get the first Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast? I've heard the OG Dreamcast version is better than any of the other re-releases, but I can't prove or disprove that.
I used to have it. I can confirm it's optimized better, but it's still not very good. Like, it's not a good game. It's as simple as that. Like, I liked it the first time I played it, but that's because I played it around my friend's house and we just kind of did some action stages. When you actually play it, like, as a whole experience, it doesn't really work. I might get it as, again, for Logan if he wants it.
We're totally going to get Shadow Man for the...
Don't we have Shadow Man for Dreamcast somewhere?
Probably we do.
I swear I never throw a copy of Shadow Man out. I still have Shadow Man on the PS1, which is like the biggest... Like, it's basically a paperweight.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Like, I would never play it.
I was like, oh, and she said my last name right. Woo! I did. Yay. It's like a cursed mask that turns people into vampires.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, I think the idea, as best as I understand it, of course, now I'm not a 9-year-old boy, so you'll have to forgive me, but as best as I understand the plot, and a guy goes to a shop who is interested in, he's like an expert in like antiquities, and he buys a mask because he recognizes it's some old Transylvanian shit. It turns out it's got Dracula's soul in it. I guess Dracula put his soul in there when like the local villagers rose up against him. Like, as best as, again, it's how it's been explained to me. I'm trying to explain what the 9-year-old explained to me. Basically, they kill Dracula, but before they can do it, he puts his spirit in like a death mask. And then as soon as somebody wears it, they're stuck with Dracula's soul.
Yes.
So they basically turn into Dracula, but they just look like a guy wearing a goofy mask.
Yes.
Shadow
Man for Dreamcast, and
which
also
I think is kind of cool, if I'm entirely honest, as a concept. Like for something a 9-year-old came up with, I think it's pretty slick.
I think it's cool. And B Daddy Vandella says $2 and says fizzy juice and Jing's Cobe. That is all.
Dick.
I totally didn't teach him these.
I am certain you did. In fact, I believe I was present for some of it.
How is the lockdown scrambling your minds? I've been stuck in my house for 5 months.
Yeah, because you broke your ankle.
Yep, and it's still broken.
Yeah, because they didn't do a proper job of resetting it.
Yeah, it's actually.
Oh, does this motherfucker give me a mushroom then? Because I need one to turn into a ghost.
And
Oh, unless he wants me to race him using the blue star things.
like, is Logan an auteur of film?
He's an autist of film, if that counts.
Oh, I don't know, like, any of you that were there for the last
Oh my
stream
god,
we did,
was it the Zelda stream?
the Zelda stream we did
Yeah.
on Twitch.
Because we have a Twitch. People don't know. Nobody ever comes, but we have a Twitch. And we did a stream on Twitch to remind people that we have a Twitch. And someone made a joke about, like, the Chinese are putting autism in the vaccines. And Logan was like, well, I already have autism, so it's not going to affect me. And then I remember just, like, we were laughing so hard, and I was just like, good night, everybody, and just shut the stream down immediately.
Apparently,
man, I'm getting my ass kicked by this ghost.
Apparently Logan is a JoJo fan, according to his thing about Mask of Dracula. I'm like...
Logan's never seen JoJo, as far as I know. Is that something that happens in JoJo?
Or at least something similar.
I think he was, from what he's told me, he was mostly inspired by Snicks.
Yeah, like a James Rolfe Snicks series.
Yeah, the 6 Snicks flicks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I'm getting absolutely buggered.
It was like, I remember the Zelda stream. It was like, don't forget to... It was like, I am autistic, so that won't affect me. Dabs.
Yeah. Like dabbed when you left the room as well.
Yes. Like, hey, can you answer my question? Do you think the slasher genre has any place in
I'm stuck.
or are all of them condemned to be Jeff clones? It depends, really, because, like, for the most part, these slasher things are, like, these slasher sort of, like, stories all take from the Jeff formula, and they all sort of, like, they're all just want to be OCs of, like, something the killer, Nina the killer.
I think they don't even put as much effort into the story as they do into the design.
Yeah.
And the design is usually fairly lazy, but all they want is fan art. You know, they do it for kind of not really clout, because who the fuck gives a shit about creepypasta anymore? But like, it's kind of that idea of, oh, I want people to draw fan art of my character. You know, and something like Nina the Killer or Homicidal Lou is so guilty of that, like more so than the average knockoff.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain ones that are like barely even coherent, and even feel like works of fiction. You know, they're just
Or
scribblings.
things like the Bloody Painter, which just, or even Judge Angels, that all rely on the fact that that the OC is there, and it's all because they made it on DeviantArt, you know.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we know people will draw this.
Mm-hmm.
Because people on DeviantArt, yeah, they're always looking for shit to draw that isn't, you know, Sonic eating someone.
Yeah, it's a shame that for the
Oh, this
most
is
part,
some shit.
like that for the most part, when you look up your name
I'm so boned.
with the hedgehog next
You'll
to it,
always find a result, won't you?
I found Gemma the hedgehog once, and there's more than one, and that was quite disturbing. It's like, yes, it's the catalyst of part 1. A flamboyant bisexual blonde man puts on a cursed mask to become the most flamboyant and guy vampire in history. Does that mean, do you mean gay vampire? Or guy vampire?
No, I like to think they mean guy.
Yeah, I was like, guy vampire in history. Alright, well, like, we haven't watched JoJo, but I'm sure Matt will know what you're talking about. What about the killer story where the bully is the killer? I don't know what that is. I mean, do I? Like, watched like Mungo the other day. Why was there a Nazi in it at 26:58?
I don't remember the Nazi, to be honest.
No, it was a while ago we watched it.
I feel like that would stick out more in my memory.
I've made an epic creepypasta OC. I call them the Yandere Doug Walker Savile the manslaughter dude. Oh. Someone, like, not the last one, sent us $100. To good health, Cobe and Gemma, thank you for the content.
You're very welcome, and thank you for the
Yes,
donation.
thank you very
I'm
much.
actually got a beer right now, so what's this guy's name? I can't see the chat.
Not the last one.
So here's to you, not the last one.
Yes. I really, really appreciate that.
Cheers.
Very sweet of you. I have a beer, but it's gone. So I'm gonna...
It's not. You drank it. It's not gone. Like it's. Somebody didn't come in through the window and steal it. It hasn't been the victim of rapid evaporation. You sat and drank it throughout the stream.
Yeah. So
This game's fucking good, by the way. Like, just saying, like, this is really fun.
yes, it is. Yes, gay vampire. Oh right, like, guy vampire sounds so much better.
It's like, because I feel like gay is implied when you say vampire, to be honest.
Dennis at Hoodlum's Revenge. I was like, oh yeah, that's the same person. Recently did a write about creepypasta in 15 minutes video recently. You should try that.
Oh, that sounds fun. I haven't caught his past few episodes of his random pasta show, but I enjoyed the first two. If you haven't seen it, it's a very simple concept, but it's entertaining. Because, you know, he's an entertaining guy, but he goes on the wiki and just hits random pasta and reads like 3 stories.
Yes, I
that
did
way.
see
And,
that, yeah.
you know, he's probably a little kinder to them than I would be, but I think that's pretty much a given. It's like...
Mm-hmm. You've read Jeff facing off against Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger. Has he gone up against other slasher characters?
Probably. I mean, you can find Jeff versus anything, you know.
It's like Jeff versus the President probably exists.
Jeff versus Drumpf. Orange, white versus white.
It's like, you have to give this all up for Shadow soon.
I know, it's gonna be horrible. Oh my god! He's like a super boo! He doesn't get scared when you look at him.
Oh dear.
It's incredible. You know, I've never seen one before. These guys have got to make up only about, what, 13% of all boos? And yet here he is, being so dangerous and violent.
Logan's next film...
Am I funny now, guys? I'm so edgy. Haha.
So the last film I saw, the last time I saw anything involving a gay vampire was Castlevania. That did not end ideally for Alucard.
So it didn't end ideally for the people in the scene with him.
Yeah.
Zapping one. Okay.
Was it Logan's next film will reveal Dracula was created by Aztec Chippendale dancers.
I mean, I can go full So Long Gay Bowser on this dude.
I watched the Borderlands on iPlayer the other day, then followed the rabbit hole to the Nutty Putty Cave tragedy, so I'm suitably uneasy. So I'm
I made the
enjoying
mistake
it.
of finding out, of looking that up after watching the Fish Stick. I don't know if you watched the Fish Stick review on it. Yeah, Fish Stick is like, if you're claustrophobic or if you're familiar with the John Jones and the Nutty Putty Cave, I was like, I'm going to look that up. Oh, God.
I
And
don't
it
think
just
I
ruined
have.
my day.
I don't think I have.
Don't.
No?
Yeah, you won't sleep.
Do I ever sleep?
Okay, but you won't sleep because you're traumatized. It's not a horror story. It's real. Like it's not something that you should look up.
It's okay, I don't remember any Boos being in blackface. He's a super Boo. Although to be fair, it's because you're backseat gaming dialogue. It's like, watch out for the basketball Boo.
Who was it who said basketball Americans? Was it Mundane Matt? Somebody like that? It was somebody really cringy.
I don't know. So who cares about the Japanese twins, Cobe? Seriously, Alucard got to have an Austin Powers bucket list fantasy, sex with Japanese twins, so that's all that matters.
I got really it's weird because sometimes you really like something, you get a bit defensive and people don't like it. I'm on that shitty patrician film group on Facebook, and I have no idea why, because it's absolutely full of dickheads. But I suppose that's probably why I'm on there. But there was this thread of like shows that started out as Kino but turned to shit in the later seasons, and someone wrote Castlevania.
You're like, excuse
I'm like,
me?
fuck off. Castlevania is still amazing.
Yeah. I don't think it's went downhill.
No, if anything, it's gotten better. Like,
Yeah. To be fair though, these are the type of people that think shows like The Glee were good.
The Glee? With your fucking northern ass. I'm watching The Glee.
Glee or like still watch Orange is the New Black.
The orange is the new black.
Everyone uses the term basketball Americans, probably Matt who coined it though.
I was saying, like, it was more I meant who coined it.
I played Super Mario Galaxy years ago, good times.
I've launched myself off the edge here. Generally, it's weird, I like all the gravity stuff in this game, but it is a little bit wonky.
It's like, I'm watching the Game of Thrones. I mean, who's watching Game of Thrones nowadays? No one.
It's finished. And no one's going to rewatch it because they know it doesn't amount to anything.
True.
Like Breaking Bad. And that's kind of a hot take, but I didn't like the final season of Breaking Bad at all.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the ending, but the show was so good. And then Better Call Saul was also good from the first season.
I didn't like Better Call Saul.
Like the first season at least, I didn't watch any more because I stopped. I think it's not because I didn't want to finish it. I think I just sort of like watched the first season when it came out and then didn't go back to it.
This is a little precise, which is kind of annoying. But I guess I'd be complaining if it was like too generous. But it's rather precise.
Hey. Very big-brained take to Cobe. I'm going to make a horror film about a fanfic writer who can only get aroused by Jeff the Killer and Will Shakespeare, so she turns her screenplay for Jeff the Killer x William Shakespeare reality. I won't watch it.
I was going to say, why? Why are you going to write that thing?
Hey, do you guys like Peaky Blinders? I haven't watched it in ages.
Yeah, I haven't really seen it. I really like the cast. Like, I love, like, Sam Neill's probably out of... most of my favourite actors are dead, so, like, out of the actors that are still working, Sam Neill is like a top 3 actor, and Cillian Murphy's probably a top 20 actor for me.
I love Cillian Murphy.
I like the cast a lot.
I honestly love those little Lumas when they're hungry.
Yeah.
Speaking about ruined shows, so how about that Rick and Morty mid-season return? God, what a pretentious episode. I haven't watched Rick and Morty since season 3.
Yeah, season 3 was such a car wreck that I haven't bothered with Rick and Morty ever since.
I did hear, like, there was someone on my Facebook page that was, like, saying that the new episode of Rick and Morty was one of the best, and I'm like, okay. That probably isn't true. I was like, that's probably predominantly false. It's like, because the world has not suffered enough. The Game of Thrones TV series is what happens when the book series hasn't finished being written.
To be fair, there were problems with it before the books were finished. I mean, the Dan and Dave, like...
Tweedledum and Tweedledee Dave.
have pretty much admitted that they didn't have a fucking clue what they were doing.
Do you think Doug Jones would make a good Count Orlok?
I think Doug Jones is just a good monster. You know, he's one of those guys. He just has the right look and the right, you know, movements to be any monster, really.
They're a liar, Gemma. I'm pretty sure they are. Like, but to be fair, like, this person was like really obsessed with Rick and Morty. I'd rather watch Chris Chan do another cheerleading routine than Rick and Morty.
So I'm showing me like one of his friends has a Pickle Rick tattoo. I say friends, like Facebook friends. I was like, oh my god, that's a real person.
Seriously? Oh dear. To be honest, like, I'd rather have my eyes gouged out than watch Chris Chan do another cheerleading routine, so therefore I wouldn't want to watch Rick and Morty either. Because I'd have my eyes gouged out. Like, F for my boy Stannis. Yeah, like, they really ruined the character.
They really fucked up Stannis, brother. Stannis and Euron are the two characters I think that get screwed over. Aside from people who are just omitted altogether, of like characters they bothered adapting but didn't adapt properly, it's those two got screwed over the most.
Euron was like an absolute insult.
Yeah.
Because I read all the books and I was like, what the fuck did they do to my boy? Look how they massacred my boy. Gemma, did you ever get round to reading Go No Further? No, I haven't yet. If you did send it to me, I probably forgot because my memories look really shit. I'd rather read a Blue X-Ray fanfic than Rick and Morty. Wait, that exists. Nishima Sato says, JoJo vampires freeze blood to paralyze people and shoot laser beams from eyes. Use veins to reattach limbs and fight flamboyant super cavemen. And thank you for the $5. I mean, I know that JoJo's now on Netflix, so I might give it a shot, but I've got so many other things to watch. Have you seen the 2005 remake of The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari with which Doug Jones was in?
No, I didn't even know it existed.
I did know it existed, but like I hadn't seen it.
I probably had heard, but like just forgot.
Like he turned himself into a pickle. Funniest shit I've ever seen. Shut the fuck up.
You want to know the definition of funny? It's a man who turns himself into a pickle. I actually love those like Pickle Rick memes with just like it's the funniest shit I've ever seen. Like I'm only now starting to get tired of it.
Yeah.
So somebody sent me a bunch of them earlier. I was like, maybe these aren't that good. But like the one of Willem Dafoe where he's just like, tell me, what's a scientist want with being a pickle? And he's just cracking up.
You also ruined Tyrion in the last season. I mean, they ruined Tyrion from season 5 onwards.
Yeah,
like,
honestly, I didn't mind him
him.
in season 5, even though he was just a pathetic drunk. Because like spoilers for a show that's been out forever, he just like killed his father and the woman he thought loved him. Like, yeah, he's a wreck, and it might take him, you know, in real life many years, but in TV terms, it might take him a season to get over it. Okay, cool, no issues. But by the time season 6 rolled around and he still had like no personality above, haha, short. I was like, okay, yeah, they've ruined my boy.
Please watch JoJo, Jacob, and Gemma so you can get the memes.
I might eventually.
Yeah, but we're watching a lot at the moment. Like, we've just introduced Logan to Stranger Things.
Logan fucking loves Stranger Things, by the way. I think it's because he likes things like Buffy and stuff, but
And
this
Twin
is about kids.
Mm.
Where instead of adults or teenagers, it's like this is about children not much older than him.
Yeah, I think he's really enjoying it, and it's amazing just seeing his reactions to it, because he's getting like really like into it, like just watching him just go and then just like whisper to himself about what's going on.
It's very cute.
Yeah. So yeah, like with Logan, we're currently watching Buffy. So we're on season 6 of Buffy. We're on season 2 of Stargate, SG-1. Season 2 of Twin Peaks, and just halfway through season 1 of Stranger Things. I think that's. And we're on season 2 of Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, season 2, quote unquote season 2, yeah.
Quote unquote season 2
of the reboot,
reboots.
of the revival reboot, you know.
Yeah.
It's weird because it is a sequel, so it's like, shouldn't it be like season 20 or something? Where it's like it does get confusing.
Yeah. Some English book. Give us £5.
Thank you.
If it's any incentive, the first part of JoJo only consists of 9 episodes. Part 2 consists of around 18, with both consisting the first season.
I think we should watch JoJo at some point.
Yeah, like there's a couple of the things we're kind of like this that we've got in line, but apart from that, it's probably it'll be in our watch list at least while it's on Netflix.
It's weird. I've never done it myself, but I do watch quite a lot of reactors on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Like good ones. I mean, not people that just sit there and don't actually add anything, but like people who do TV shows and like it's their entire channel. So like they just react to shows. Like I quite like RTTV, and I quite like Fail Whale as well.
Has Logan seen Godzilla King of the Monsters, since that's the one that has the kid from Stranger Things?
Yes, he has, and he didn't recognise her at first.
Because obviously she's
younger and doesn't have any hair. Logan's getting better, obviously, because of the tism. He can have facial blindness sometimes, but he's getting better at recognising actors. Though sometimes he'll say something really out of left field, but hey, is that? And it's just somebody who completely looks nothing like them. I'm like, no. But generally, he's getting better with that as he's getting older.
What's he done? It was like what did he recognise quite recently? It was like
Oh, you know what it was? It was Lionel Atwell.
Yes, that was it. Because we were watching.
Because we watched Son of Frankenstein, and he was like, "Oh, hey, it's Inspector Krug," and I was like, when we watched Ghost, I was like, "No, it's just the same actor," because Universal was just terrible at recycling actors back in the golden age.
Like showing Logan all the good stuff, then yeah, like that's the thing. Like he.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to watch crap. That's the thing. Like, I want if I'm watching something, unless it's like a B movie that I'm watching to make fun of with my friends. Generally, I want to watch stuff that entertains me. You know, I don't want to watch garbage.
Like, what age is Logan now? He'll be 10 on June the 11th. So he's 9 for another couple of weeks, basically. So you're on the David Tennant run. Worst run of the show, in my opinion. Started the autism of main girl that falls in love with the doctor. Yeah, I get that completely, because I love the.
I think Matt Smith is the worst run of the show. Well, to be fair, once you get to like Peter Capaldi, I've never really seen them. I've just heard like sci-fi nerds that I kind of trust slag it off.
Yeah, no, like I love Christopher Eccleston. I love basically the first sort of like kind of revival.
Sorry, that's just really trippy.
Yeah, like David Tennant, for instance, for me, I really like I like Rose. I'm kind of like okay with Martha, and Donna I hate, but there's some really great episodes from that season. But apart from that, and then when Matt Smith came into it, I think I watched that one season with him, and then I stopped, and that's kind of like where I ended with Doctor Who.
Basically, once Russell T Davies leaves, the show kind of turns to shit.
Yeah, I agree. When Stephen Moffat decides, like,
I see Stephen Moffat should only ever be allowed to write standalone things. He should never be allowed to like write something that's serialized, because he's awful at it. Because like Sherlock is such fucking garbage.
To be fair, he did create Coupling, which was a really good show up until the 3rd season at least.
Well, that's because it's a sitcom. Like, it doesn't need to have like a great overarching plot, you know.
True, that's true. But like, yeah, Stephen Moffat, like the first maybe like 2 seasons of Sherlock were all right, because obviously he had Mark Gatiss helping him. But then I think like Stephen Moffat just decided to overtake it, and then
Mark
obviously
Gatiss is a bit full of himself as well, though. I mean, like,
true.
yeah, you watch that fucking finale of Sherlock, and it's some harrowingly bad television. Like,
It is. Like I think the Moffat run is pure Tumblr-induced cancer. I do agree with that. Like, and then there was like that whole Doctor Who Sherlock fandom.
oh god, yeah, it was like is it Super Wholock?
Yeah, like unfortunately, as much as I love Supernatural,
I like
it's
Supernatural, but like
worse.
I totally see like why those freaks like it, because there's so much in it for them. There's so much like queer baiting and stuff in Supernatural, especially with like Crowley and characters like that. But I just think like, yeah, I can kind of see why those dickheads would like a show like this one.
Yeah. Didn't Moffat rip off the "You'd make a good Dalek" line? I'm pretty sure he did.
He ripped that whole story is ripped off from one of the audio plays.
Yeah. It's like Moffat needs adult supervision at all times.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So Moffat's kind of like how with Logan we help him sometimes with his films, because otherwise they just become, you know, like when he tried to do The Mummy Walks Among Us, it was too ambitious for a 9-year-old boy, and it was unfinished, and it's, you know, it's not really a movie. Yeah, Stephen Moffat's a lot like a 9-year-old with autism.
Yeah.
Is what I'm getting at.
I agree. Pierre Capaldi is a great actor and had potential to be a truly great Doctor, but the scripts and writing he worked with were absolute garbage.
Yeah.
I can completely agree with that.
From what I've seen of it, it's that kind of like just overly woke, like politically correct stuff that cares more about sending a message than telling a good story.
Because obviously with us
Chibnall flat out said that, didn't he, about his run? He was like, I care more about sending a message than telling a story. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, dude, maybe you should be running a fiction show then, like.
Because with Russell T Davies, right, he just wanted to make a good Doctor Who show.
He was like a massive Doctor Who fan.
Yeah.
You know, he's a huge fan of the original series. So there's so many good callbacks in his run.
Yeah, and also as well, there's yeah, he can sometimes be like, again, he can be slightly overly ambitious, but he doesn't just like go, I'm gonna do this show myself and not get anyone to help me. He had other writers contribute.
Yeah, for sure.
And like worst episodes of modern Doctor Who are the ones written by Neil fucking Gaiman. He was one of the most overrated writers of all time, in my opinion. A complete hack. Do you know what? I actually agree with you, because the ones that I've had, like, because I quite like Neil Gaiman, and like I like the book Stardust and the film it's based on, and I quite like Coraline as well. But I never really got into any of his other writing. But with the Doctor Who episodes I watched that were written by him, I was like, what the fuck is this? It was just like, it really annoyed me.
Kidding. Just hit the glass, would you? Jeez.
The main difference is that most 9-year-olds are less pretentious than Moffat. That's true.
Most teenagers are less pretentious than Moffat.
Because obviously, like, we're kind of like on, because we're on like kind of like, we're just started the Martha run of season of the David Tennant sort of like ones, and like there's a really great episode that he wrote, like Moffat wrote for that season, and that was the Blink episode with like the Weeping Angels.
Yeah, he's really good at that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He also wrote The Empty Child as
You
well,
wrote the Empty Child, Doctor Dances,
which is one of the best stories in the modern run, in my opinion.
and I also
To be honest, I still don't really think the modern run is all that. To be honest, like I much prefer Classic Who.
Classic Who is better, but like with them watching it, kind of like there's also one written by Mark Gatiss, which I really liked, which is like about the Idiot Lantern, which was really good. And I like Dalek from the first run.
Yeah, that's great.
Dalek's a great episode. I can't remember who wrote that.
Again, there's a lot of shit ripped off in that one, but it's
Oh,
still
yeah.
good.
Remember when Moffat dunked on the 2005 Daleks with his redesign and everyone hated them? Oh, was that when he decided to like have them all to be different colours?
Well, they'd been different colours before. Well, what's funny is the guy who, I can't remember his name, but the guy who originally designed the Daleks didn't like the 2005 redesign because he was like, well, why have they got rivets and shit? Because this is human technology and like they're way beyond our technology. They shouldn't have
Rivets?
Yeah, they should be like way beyond using this kind of stuff.
Mm.
So like, yeah, but it does look aesthetic as fuck though. Like I liked, especially in that episode in Dalek. Because the thing with Dalek was it was like rusty and old.
Mm.
You know, because it just it'd fallen through time and shit.
I agree, Gemma. I enjoyed Coraline, but his few episodes in his comic books are insanely pretentious. Gaiman seems to think that he's not only a philosopher, but the greatest philosopher in history. The thing is, when it comes, I kind of think that Neil Gaiman reminds me of Stephen King and his kind of in the way that he thinks of himself. He thinks so highly of himself. The one thing that I tried watching with the Matt Smith run was that there was a couple episodes with the guy that plays Crowley from Supernatural in, and obviously I was like, oh, he's in them. Maybe I'll watch this. And I was like, oh god, what is this? This is ridiculous.
Oh well, what's this?
Joe Richardson, what do you think about the Lady Doctor? I don't watch the show, but I heard a lot of bad things. I haven't watched any of the episodes with her in it. I like the actress who plays her. Jodie Whittaker I really enjoyed her in things, but watching the kind of like the teasers and stuff like that were on like.
Oh, and she breaks a glass ceiling.
Wait, yeah, breaks a glass ceiling. That was one of the things that just went. No, I'm not watching this show because I don't want to be pandered to as a woman.
It was that run that was it's Chibnall who's just like Chris Chibnall who said I care more about telling a story than I care more about making a point than telling a story. I was like, well, dude, fuck you, like I ain't gonna watch your shit then.
Well, that's the thing, like, because from what I can recall, the new Doctor's companions, one of them is like a gay black woman, and another one is a black man with dyspraxia who's got a hero complex. And he constantly talks about the fact he's got dyspraxia.
Why? I have dyspraxia. It's boring. It's not an interesting condition whatsoever. It just means you're clumsy.
Yeah.
Hey, it's like my brain moves faster than my body. Does that mean you're really smart? No, it just means my body is stupid.
Yeah, like Logan is getting treated for it at school. Like
it's pretty common with autism. Like,
yeah.
Not most, but lots of people on the spectrum have dyspraxia.
Yeah, because he's like getting help during like PE. Well, when he was at school, he was getting help during PE lessons and things to help with his hand-eye coordination. And he had problem with fine motor skills and gross motor skills when he was younger.
Gemma, we're in public. Why are you telling people this for?
Well, like he was. I'm happy to sort of like say that he's gotten help for that, and he's now gotten over that. It's like I'm talking when he was really young.
Get your ass out of here.
Terry Pratchett and Douglas Adams are the finest modern writers England has produced. People like Gaiman and Moffat and the others just spear the great name of Great Britain and its history of greats. I agree. I need to read more Terry Pratchett. I read a lot when I was a kid, but I've kind of like not read much since I was about 12. This is the first playthrough outside of Shadow Man that you appear to be enjoying, Jacob.
Yeah, I think you're right. I haven't played a game I've liked for so long, and I'm having a genuinely good time. Well, but, I mean, look at how fun this game is, man. Look at it.
It is really fun. Bradley Walsh, though, Welsh Falcon Gaming, is that I really only like watching him get really upset Oh no, like upset and like laughing during the chase. He's the guy that does the chase, and like whenever like something comes up like this, like really rude, he just can't stop laughing, and that's really enjoyable.
This, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, guys in the chat, is the first Mario game to feature Captain Toad.
Yeah, I remember getting Logan Captain Toad.
Oh, I've only got
Treasure
26
Tracker.
star bits, that's annoying.
The way you describe Moffat makes him sound like CG Goto, only he has more respect for the source material. This Mario thing looks fun. They should totally make this a franchise. Yeah, like I've been enjoying playing this. I just my sister was the one that kind of had the Wii, and she kind of only had things
Okay,
like
you can't spin those guys. Okay, lesson learned.
So yeah, she had the Wii, and I saw and I went from the PlayStation 2 to the Xbox 360.
Oh, man,
so
I'm
like,
so boned.
so I didn't play much of the Wii. So really, I've been playing more of it since Jacob's had it.
Hey, look at his bib.
I was like, glad to see so many autists in the chat. Unfortunately, as we all know, we all have to fight each other now.
Well, you know, it's the next stage in human evolution, guys. Truly the most dangerous game.
Mario Galaxy always gave me motion sickness as a kid.
It's because of all like going upside down and shit like that. There's lots of like weird gravity gimmicks in this game, which I honestly think are pretty cool. But I can see why. Like, I get not motion sickness, but I get kind of dizzy from certain games, like particularly FPS games, or even if I don't get dizzy, I'll get lost a lot of the time. Like if any FPS games that require a lot of exploring, 9 times out of 10 I'll get lost.
Yeah, I'm fine with most games, but there's a couple of games that have given me motion sickness. One like franchise in particular that always gave me motion sickness and made me feel ill while playing it was the Fear franchise. Which I think it was definitely motion blur with that one. And then, as much as I love the Bioshock games, I've played them all on the Xbox 360.
Yeah, the HD remaster.
The HD remaster made me feel so ill, and I had to sell it. So, unfortunately, my Xbox broke recently, literally this year, after 11 years of it working, and so now I'm kind of like, do I just bite the bullet and buy some like motion sickness tablets to get them back?
Oh man, I'm so screwed.
Honestly,
Look how busy this screen is. It's just constantly happening stuff.
it's like honestly, autistic people remind me of the Immortals from Highlander. They can't stand each other and always fight. It's an interesting take.
So you have like
There can be only one.
it's like Chris Chan when he meets someone with Asperger's.
Oh god.
You damn son of a bitch.
Like, I will not be associated with Asperger's.
He says burgers as well, like Asperger's. Associated with Asperger's. Which sounds like it's ridiculous.
Like, I will not believe the scientific fact.
Yeah, he actually said that. Believe that I reject the scientific fact that Asperger's is related to autism.
The Red Ring of Death? No, the what you call it? The power bank at the back. You know, the big giant plug that you get in the back with the big power thing in it. It just conked out, and every time like I'll need to get myself a new one, I think. But I can't seem to get one unless I buy one from eBay. You two try VR yet? Yeah.
It makes me dizzy.
I don't like it.
What it is with VR is because of my eyesight, I either don't wear my glasses and I can't see it properly, or I do wear my glasses and the edges are insanely blurry.
What it gets for me is that it makes me feel like I'm watching a 3D movie, which already gives me a headache.
Yeah, I don't like 3D movies.
So, as a kid, I said Asperger's.
To be fair, I think that might also be an accent thing. I think in like the States they say Asperger's anyway.
One of the things I was like looking up, and I was like trying to make Logan feel better when he because he didn't know what it was. He just thought he had some sort of disease.
Oh, when he got diagnosed.
Yeah, I was like, you know that the guy who plays Ray in Ghostbusters has what you have, and he was just like, he immediately thought it was cool.
Yeah, immediately perked up, didn't they?
Yeah. So I was just like, yeah, you know. Doesn't Irate Gamer love using Asperger's as an insult in his videos?
It sounds like it, doesn't it? Or like Game Dude. So, Irate Gamer has gone fucking nuts, right? I don't know if you guys know this. He's turned into the Vigilant Christian.
Yeah, you showed me this the other day.
Like he put out a video talking about like the paranormal pandemic, and he's like, basically the Illuminati is using aliens. And it's fucking insane because it's Chris Bors. So it's just nuts because he's saying this like Vigilant Christian shit. It's like Vigilant Christian Super Mario. And like, honestly, he just goes mental. He starts listing off these like sins and goes, things that these evils in the world. Like ghosts, aliens, like he's reviewing a game. It's incredible. It's so strange. You have to watch it.
Yeah.
And the video, it's only got like 500 views. Like no one has seen this video. I'm like, how has no one seen Chris Bors losing his fucking monkey mind?
Bean Daddy Mandela says, remember Cobe, Christian Weston Chandler is a disguise. He's really the Asperger demon, and Buffy and Giles are after him. Hidden Blu-ray episode. Oh, yes. And thank you for the $5.
Well, this is pretty wholesome chungus over here. This little story. Better get Keanu Reeves in here. Edit. Thank you for the gold, kind stranger. Can I just take a moment? I hate Reddit so much.
He does.
It's irrational how much I hate Reddit. If someone goes, oh, I was browsing Reddit the other day, straight away I'm like, shut up. Shut up, cunt. I just fucking despise Reddit with every fibre of my being. Look how good this game is, though. Look how charming this is.
Some English book. Yeah, thank you for the £15. Have you either of you played any of the Dead Space games?
I streamed the first one back when I was on Noobs TV. I streamed Dead Space 1 and I didn't care for it.
I have played this first and the second one. I loved the first one.
I liked the tone, and that was it. I didn't like the story. I didn't like the gameplay. I didn't think was very compelling. It wasn't very scary.
I really liked Dead Space. I hated with a passion Dead Space 2. Just like literally like the first 5 minutes of the game, you're like running through like you're running through a room and you're having all these necromorphs come at you. I was just like, what the fuck is this? It's meant to this like the first game was an actual survival horror. So and then Dead Space 3, well that was just a joke. So like so I would say that I definitely played the first one again. I really did quite enjoy that. Kind of reminded me of Event Horizon. But yeah, I like that one. Cobe did not. Hey, Cobe, Gemma, did you actually know who CS Goto is, or do you have no idea why I was complaining and comparing him to Moffat?
I don't know who he is.
I do know who he is, but I don't know what I heard of him recently, but I knew he was an author. That's kind of like my knowledge of him, and that people were saying that he was pretentious. But I don't know what he wrote. A lot of people argue that 2 is the best as well.
This is bumming me out.
It's okay. We'll save them. I like Dead Space 1, but it was trying to be System Shock. I do agree with that, because System Shock 2 is one of the best games ever made. And I'll hopefully play that on a stream at one point. Remember when DSP played Dead Space and all his commentary was in German accent calling them necromorphs Jews? Yes.
My favourite thing about that wasn't his like obscene behaviour. It was his like despondency and shock at being kicked off of Blip. I kicked off of Blip for like no reason. Because of fucking stupid haters. Like, it's like, oh, what did I do? What the fuck did I do? I'm like, dude, you made a bunch of jokes about the fucking Holocaust.
Favorite John Carpenter movie that is not Halloween or The Thing? Assault on Precinct 13.
They Live.
Or In the Mouth of Madness.
Oh. I love In the Mouth of Madness.
Did They Live?
The thing is, in The Method Man is more consistent. They Live has a brilliant first half, but that first half is so much better than just about anything else that Carpenter has done aside from The Thing. But like, the second half of the movie doesn't really do it for me.
Also, Assault on Precinct 13 is just like one of the perfect movie for me.
It's very good, and it's very kind of like tight, like the pacing. Just a good thriller.
Fantastic soundtrack too. It's one of those films that I'd ask anyone to watch. Personally,
I really liked Assault on Precinct 13.
Yeah. System Shock 2 is one of the best games ever made, and you should definitely stream it sometime. I will.
I'd say it's nice to stream something that's actually fun.
It is.
Don't get me wrong, I am still going to do Shadow because I was paid to do it, and I will. But it's a nice change of pace to do something positive.
It is.
I was worried nobody would enjoy it. I thought, oh, maybe this is a bad idea, like doing something fun. People won't like it because they like it when we're mean. I guess we've been a bit mean, like made fun of Chris Balls and stuff.
Ghosts of Mars is pretty rad. Do you like Ghosts of Mars? No.
I haven't seen Ghosts of Mars.
I wasn't a fan, personally. Although John Carpenter's worst film is The Ward.
John Carpenter's worst film
is The Ward.
Is Vampires.
It's The Ward. It's The Ward. That was his last movie. It was The Ward. It has Amber Heard as the main character.
Oh, then that's his worst film. Fuck out loud.
Yeah.
That's not John Carpenter's fault by any means.
No, but even then, the film was actually really, really bad. But like, it's even worse now that we know what Amber Heard's like. But yeah, that to me is his worst film. I haven't. I think that's the only one I haven't seen is his first movie, and that's Dark Star.
Speaking of terrible people, Mark Hamill was like on Twitter today saying, "I can't believe I have to say this, but vote Joe Biden." I'm like, no. Like, I don't live in your country, but so I can't. But if I did, if I did live in your country, I wouldn't. And somebody else in the thing was like, well, it doesn't matter that he raped someone. We're also voting to get kids out of being put in cages. Like, you know who built those cages and put those children in? Those famous pictures of kids in cages, which are actually from 2014. That was Obama. Who was vice president? Joe Biden.
Yep.
Fuck Joe Biden. And like fucking celebrities are all like, you gotta vote for this guy. You gotta get out and vote for this rapist. I'm like, no. Vote for somebody else. Vote anyone else.
So the Me Too movement definitely sold itself out in 2020?
Yeah. Yeah, say what sold out faster in 2020? Toilet paper or the Me Too movement?
Yeah.
I wish I could take credit, that's not my joke. I fully stole that.
I'd vote for George Lincoln Rockwell over Joe Biden.
I'd vote for anyone over Joe Biden except Matt Dixon. Like...
Yeah, I don't know about Matt. Mark Hamill is an absolute prick. He also tried to force his son's ex-girlfriend to have an abortion.
Fucking dillhole.
What a twat.
Such a wanker, and everyone's like, oh, he's so based because he didn't like The Last Jedi. I'm like, no, he didn't like The Last Jedi because it was rubbish. And that doesn't mean he's cool.
Yeah, like, I like Mark Hamill as
Like,
an actor.
He could have told him to go fuck himself. Like, do you know what I mean? The second, Disney, because he was like, oh, I don't really approve of like George getting rid of Star Wars and all this, and I really miss working with him. I'm like, yeah, but you still said yes when Disney knocked on your door with a dump truck full of money. So don't act like you're fucking high and mighty and like you're above this garbage, because you're absolutely not above it.
No, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah, he's a tool.
but he's still the best Joker. Like,
Yeah.
of like like if you're comparing like the animated and the live action. But that doesn't mean I have to like him as a person.
No. I don't. Well, if I had to like every celebrity as a human being who I admired their work, I wouldn't like anyone's work. Do you know what I mean? Like, because pretty much 90%, like, it's Sturgeon's law, 90% of everything is crap, and that goes for people too.
Yeah.
90% of people are crap. I think so. Like, celebrities are so fucking clueless. Like, again, it's like talking about voting for Joe Biden like it's a no-brainer. Like, oh yeah, this obviously, come on. I'm like, no.
What you doing? Didn't Joe Biden play old Captain America? It did look like Joe Biden.
It was pretty uncanny. You know, like things that haven't aged well. At the time, Joe Biden was like was a guest on Parks and Rec.
Yes.
Did he sniff Leslie's hair? I can't remember.
I think he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it was in the script. He probably just did it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously, like, and even like as a guy that I like on YouTube.
Alzheimer's riddled pervert.
As a guy I like on YouTube called Drew Gooden, and he used to be really into Joe Biden, but he even at least like acknowledges that he's like a twat now.
Gemma watches so many like actual YouTubers. She watched like Jarvis and
Jarvis Johnson. There's another person called Jarvis. So Jarvis Johnson.
Jarvis Johnson, yeah. I don't fucking understand it, but like all those guys, like I like them, but like yeah, it's definitely a big difference in the kind of content we consume. So you watch a lot of like actual people I would say are YouTubers rather than the kind of stuff I like.
Yeah, mostly because they're commentary. Like channels like I'll watch Drew Gooden, Danny Gonzalez, Cody Coe, and Jarvis Johnson because I think they're quite funny.
The only one of those lads I really like is Cody Coe.
Yeah, Cody Coe.
I prefer stuff like Deadwing Dork and.
Deadwing Dork is really funny as well.
That's the kind of content I enjoy.
Mostly I like them because they make fun of people that I don't like. That's pretty much the reason why I watch them. Or they make fun of channels that I don't like, you know? And I like Elvis the Alien and Bionic Pig and things like that. Who's the best movie Joker? Heath Ledger or Jack Nicholson? Jack Nicholson.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh yeah, out of Joaquin Phoenix, but those two?
We said who's the best movie of Joker? There's like, yeah, those are the only options he gave, but they're not the only options.
Well, so who's the better movie Joker?
I thought you said best. So
yeah.
Who's the best movie Joker? Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, so Jack Nicholson out of those two. Heath Ledger's fine, but I don't think...
I have problems with Jack Nicholson Joker, but it's mostly issues I have with
the writing.
Also with any of the creators. It's not just the writers, but Tim Burton and because although Tim Burton didn't design the makeup, I imagine he had final say on that. Taking one of the most expressive actors in the world and freezing his face with the makeup so he can't move his mouth properly. Fucking stupid idea.
That was a stupid idea, but I do think he's scarier than Heath Ledger.
I'm not sure I agree. But I respect your opinion, but I don't think I agree.
Because he's more manic, and I think he's more manic.
I think he's funnier. He feels more like he fits the role of the Joker from the comics a little better.
Yeah.
I know obviously there's been so many Jokers in the comics and things, but like the kind of idea I have as a former comic book reader as a kid, I think Nicholson fits that mold a little better.
100%.
Whereas like. Heath Ledger just kind of feels like a creepy serial killer.
Heath Ledger also suffered from having a kind of like too much expositional script.
That again that's a big Nolan problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's always a problem in Nolan stuff. Like no one talks like a person in Chris Nolan's movies. Everyone just like explains the plot, themes, and their own character. It's like, dude, just speak normally.
Yeah, so that's what annoys me, like, because I don't hate The Dark Knight. To be honest, I prefer Batman Begins, even though I know that it's very flawed. But with Heath Ledger's Joker, I just think that it makes me cringe sometimes when he speaks, because it's like everyone's like, oh my god, what he's saying is so deep.
Yeah, I think a lot of that like has been ruined by the fans though. So we've got this like we live in a society kind of memes now, and the gamer memes.
Yeah.
Black man says the N word, nobody bats an eyelid. It's like it's very easy to make fun of, but the performance was very good.
Yeah, the performance was good, but the
But
dialogue.
I mean, he wasn't the actor I remembered the most when I walked out of the cinema. I mean, I remember being most impressed with Gary Oldman when I'd finished watching that.
Also, I really liked Aaron Eckhart when he wasn't being Two-Face.
Yeah, I got mixed feelings about the Aaron Eckhart performance. I really do. I thought he overacted a lot.
I think that worked though for the part of Two-Face personally. But I
Why
always.
the fuck are we talking about the Dark Knight like it's 10 fucking years ago? Who the hell still talks about the Dark Knight? What's wrong with us?
Watch Mojo.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, we're Watch Mojo, and when we're not spamming the word titular, we're talking about Heath Ledger.
Oh, someone said a super chat. Oh, there we go. Uncle Palpy said £5. Thank you very much. Top 10 things that haven't aged well. Number 1, Joe Biden's brain. Yes, yeah. Sorry about that, Uncle Palpy. It just went past quite quickly, and I didn't see it.
This music's so good, by the way. I don't know if anyone can hear it, but it's so good.
By the way, is it true that Jay Station is back?
Yeah, he's on a different channel now. He's on like his it's like Dream Team channel now. It's an old one he used with his girlfriend, the one whose death he faked.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, he's on there now, I think. Fucking tool.
Is it? Yes, Ledger's Joker made all that.
Honestly, such scum.
So yes, Ledger's Joker made all of the fact acne-ridden teenage and 20-something anarchists think that they actually matter. Oh, like, sorry, Gemma, the Mick 20-somethings.
He is the well, I was gonna say comic book. They're both from comic books. He's the superhero movie equivalent of Hugo Weaving in V for Vendetta.
Which I haven't seen.
And I can't imagine you ever will because it's been ruined. It's been like, we are anonymous. We do not forgive. Like, shut up, you dumb motherfucker.
Also,
You cringy ass.
Also, I hate Natalie Portman with a passion. So basically, I can't really watch her without wanting to punch her in the face. And unfortunately, thankfully, I was able to watch Black Swan before I realised how much I hated her. So I really enjoyed Black Swan.
Black Swan's pretty solid. And I don't really like Darren Aronofsky.
I think that's the only film by Darren Aronofsky I like, because I haven't seen Pi.
Yeah, I kind of liked Pi. I didn't love it, and I felt the same way about the Machine, so the Wrestler. I liked the Wrestler. I didn't love it.
Best Batman movie is Mask of the Phantasm.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't think any of the animated films are that good. I think Mask of the Phantasm
Under the
has a
Red Hood.
lot of really good stuff in it, but I think it kind of hasn't rushed final act.
Under the Red Hood is also
Under the
very
Red Hood's
good.
very good.
Under the Red Hood has a great cast as well.
But it's a very small story, which I mean, it doesn't need to be huge, but like it doesn't feel like it needed to be a movie. It kind of feels like a season finale of a TV show.
And the Killing Joke is really good in the final hour of the film.
Yeah. Once all the new bullshit they wrote in to justify stretching one of Alan Moore's shortest fucking comics into a movie, once all that shit is over, it's fine. It's quite good, but
it was like that and Batman Return of the Joker are tied as my favourite Batman films.
oh, that's a really good Return of Joker. It's the Batman Beyond movie.
Yeah, I know. I remember you
It's a
showed
damn
me that
fine
movie. Because you have the
I have the
version.
I have the American DVD of it. I don't know if it was ever released over here on DVD, but the DVD is really cool because it has all the censored stuff that they had to cut out of the broadcast. So it's just better because it makes more sense, you know. It's not like super dark and edgy by any means, but the stuff that they just couldn't get away with on whatever network it was on.
Yeah, Under the Red Hood was great. I loved Dean Winchester as Jason Todd. Yeah, he was great as Jason Todd. I also really liked.
He's just called Dean Winchester.
Not Jensen.
No one
Ackles.
bothers with his real name. Like, who knows who that motherfucker is?
Yeah. Also, I'd say that Neil Patrick Harris was a really great choice for Nightwing.
Well, no one ever used to call him Neil Patrick Harris.
He's
another
called
one.
Doogie
It's-
Howser.
Hey, it's Doogie Howser. I remember, if anyone remembers the channel E4, is that still on the air?
Yeah, it's still in there.
They used to have these adverts for
How I Met Your Mother.
and they'd be like, it's like Friends, we were just like Friends, and they'd keep listing off different things. Basically, it's exactly like Friends, except it's got Doogie Howser in it.
Yes.
So I'm like, that doesn't really make me want to watch the show. I don't feel like you're doing a good job of marketing this to me.
Yeah. I was like, it's got Doogie Howser and Willow from Buffy the Vampire Slayer in it, and the guy from Freaks and Geeks in it.
But yeah, I remember the adverts, and except it's got Doogie Howser.
Yeah. It's like, you hate Natalie Portman, but what about that phenomenal performance as Padme Amidala? Yeah, no wonder. Yeah. I need to watch The Dark Knight Returns with Michael Emerson. That's not too bad, that one. I also quite liked Year One, which was like.
The Dark Knight Returns isn't that the one with Peter Weller?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, that one's pretty decent. Like
I like the Dark Knight Returns because it's like kind of fashy and it's like it's weird because it's the kind of movie. As I've read the book as well, but it's the film version obviously because it's fairly recent. Feels like it shouldn't have come out because it's got very unpopular ideas. In its sort of interior politics, and yeah, I'm surprised it was allowed. To be honest.
It says it. Did you like Year One?
I don't remember Year One. I watched it and I don't remember anything about it other than it had Bryan Cranston in it.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston was
Commissioner
Gordon, and Eliza Dushku was Catwoman. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she was Catwoman. Yeah, I quite like that one. Mostly because it was a Commissioner Gordon story, so I like that a lot. I really didn't like Batman Gotham Knight though, which was like the kind of anime.
Oh, that sucked.
The one that I got it free with Batman Arkham City, because I got the who cares about the name Jensen Ackles? Dean Winchester, where it at? Also, well, not as good as Mark Hamill. I liked Bender bending Rodriguez's Joker. Yeah, me too. I like what's nice is that kind of like with his like way of doing the Joker. You didn't try and sound like Mark Hamill, which is what a lot of people try and do.
I always find that very annoying when people do that. I'm like, it's not a real person. You haven't got to try and do the voice the way people already know it.
Yeah.
It's
Also,
a fictional character. You can put your own spin on it.
Also, he's kind of was quite sadistic in the fact that basically like it was like the way that everything that he said was everything that he tried to say was like. Even all the really sick things he was saying,
this is
portrayed as a
tough.
joke. You know?
Yeah.
Which I liked. You're the result of 3.8 billion years of evolution. Act like it. Jake Paul. No, I don't think I will.
I don't think I will. Yeah, I do apologise for kind of losing my temper on the Jake Paul stream. I got genuinely depressed on that one. Because it started out as a laugh, and by the end I was just so upset by him. I was like, what a cunt. What have we done? What have we as a species done? And it just really started to upset me, so I had to stop it. So I think that's another reason I wanted to break from doing negative stuff on the stream. That's why we did this instead of starting. Well, one of the reasons we did this instead of starting Shadow the Hedgehog. The other obviously is we wanted to test the setup. And make sure we could actually do a gaming stream. From console and all that on OBS.
Yeah, because we were having issues before.
Yeah.
Cobe, how old are you again?
70.
And Super George Costanza Galaxy. You should watch Bad Creepypasta starring Jacob Sherwood, Matt Dixon, H.P. Lovecraft's cat, and Toby.
H.P. Lovecraft's cat.
Is that me?
Still love that documentary you watched. The guy just said the cat's name like it was no thing.
I know. It's like you did fine on the Jake Paul stream. Your reaction was normal, honestly. Jacob, how is this place a galaxy if these microplanets are surrounding one big planet?
Silence! I'll even stop these guys. Oh, okay, cool. Mystery solved.
All you had to do was say it out loud.
Oh, there's a little sling star there. I didn't see it.
Where?
That's a bit annoying because of the perspective.
Oh, there it is.
Right. I saw one on here. It's just difficult because of the. Son of a bitch, where was it?
Oh my god, Gemma is H.P. Lovecraft's cat. What the fuck? Thanks, Gemma. In reality, the cat says.
Oh, this music's so good. It's really helping with how fucking tedious this level is. Gotta say, the game is good though. It's still fun. It doesn't feel as old as it is. Even though I'm playing it on a obsolete console, it doesn't feel like I'm playing something from like 13 years ago.
Oh yeah.
At all. Like it.
That stream was just numbing. I'm pretty sure I just spammed Daisy in the comments after the stupidity of England is my city part. It's genuinely messed with me.
I think was the straw that broke the camel's back. I was already getting a bit annoyed. I think that England is my city was, yeah.
It was the fact that he was English.
Yeah, I was just like, really? It was the stupidity of it. I think these people are all very, very rich and influential, and this guy doesn't even know what country he's from. Fucking just annoyed me.
Question for Cobe and Gem. What's your favourite level in this game? Well,
I really like the one near the beginning where you get to be a bee. Especially because all the royal bees have got little ruffs on and shit.
I'm also going to agree with that because I've not played a lot of this game, so
yeah, this is pretty much Gemma's like first playthrough that we're.
So I'd say yeah, the Bee Galaxy, and also I really quite like the ones with the penguins. Even though I did get annoyed the first time I played it because I would get really annoyed at the water controls because they invert, and it really screwed with me for a minute. And I was like, no, I'm not going to finish it. I'm just going to look at the penguins. It's like now that I think about it, I never seen Gemma and Lovecraft's cat in the same room at the same time. To the joint tax. Can we see Tropic Thunder with Gemma and Blackface? This is going well.
Well, the thing is, if we're having too much fun, the audience has to make their own drama.
Can I just say, I'm really enjoying this. Jacob and Gemma are clearly enjoying themselves in this. This is great.
So, I think this game's, this is I don't know, maybe I'm just being a boomer and I can't tell when something looks dated, but I think this is aged really well. Like I said, I don't feel like I'm playing a really old game. Like I feel like I'm playing something that's fairly new. I mean, it doesn't. The controls are so responsive and I say there's some weird physics stuff, but for the most part, I like the physics gimmicks. The graphics are very nice and colourful. Like I say, some of the textures are a little flat, but other than that, I think the graphics are good. The music's beautiful; it's all fully orchestrated. It feels modern.
Yes. It does feel modern. I really like it. I was gonna say, Bean Daddy, like, aren't like the Android X like mountains in New York or something like that? I'm pretty sure, like, I've heard of that before. Like in New York, or they're in some part of that country, like maybe like Pennsylvania. I don't know.
You're just pulling out places in America you can remember the names of.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's on that side of the country and it's in that neck of the woods. All right.
As in Washington or I don't know Utah. Fucking no.
That's the Midwest. Well, that's more closer to the west.
This guy's really fluffy.
He's really fluffy, yeah. I like Space Junk Galaxy for the music and general atmosphere alone. The Space Junk Galaxy was fun, although it's kind of like, it makes me really tense.
It is tense.
So did you guys in the UK have an equivalent to being forced to learn all 50 US states and their capitals? Not really, but I know most of the states and capitals. Because I did American history.
We had to learn the capital cities of like a bunch of European countries. I don't know what to do, yeah? There's probably something really obvious staring me in the face. Let's have a look around.
I was saying Bean Daddy is like, because you said to the Adirondacks, I'm pretty sure those are like a mountain range. I'm pretty sure. I can look it up.
It obviously isn't that. Let's have a look around. Is there something else to be done?
So I can't wait to see you tear into JC the Hyena, to be honest. This stream is a good mind cleanser for sure.
So any other time I see one of these guys, I just spin them, but that doesn't appear to be doing anything. It is making a little noise, but it doesn't flash or anything.
Like, this just in, H.P. Lovecraft's cat supports Joe Biden. This is very unepic news. Wait, I don't support Joe Biden.
Yeah, that's not what you do.
Yeah, you don't support Joe Biden, that's what you don't do. I did have to learn, well, to be honest, like, we didn't, like, get the equivalent of that, but we did have to, like, just learn,
I can't figure it out.
like, learn just capitals of the world.
Yeah.
The UK is too small to have states unless it's in England, Scotland, and Wales. Oh yeah, the Adirondack are mountains in northeastern New York. I was right. They're in New York. Said that the first time.
This is the way you just started going, oh, maybe it's, I don't know, whatever the next thing you said
I
was.
said Pennsylvania,
Okay.
but that's nearby.
Oh my god, why am I such a dumbass?
But I was right the first time.
Why can I not figure out what to do on this children's video game?
Like I was lucky enough to travel a lot, like around Scotland, so I know pretty much majority of places in Scotland. I mean, the only things I might not know are like tiny little towns. Although I wasn't very good at the geography of England, because like I completely did not know. I mixed up where Manchester and Leeds were.
To be fair, I don't fucking know where Manchester and Leeds are. They're in the north, and the north to me is just like one big wasteland.
Yeah, like I knew like the kind of the very north of England, like the Cumbria region and Newcastle and everything like that, because I lived nearabouts there. But anything to do with like anything to do with like between like Manchester, Liverpool, Birmingham, I was like kind of like not didn't know where they were. I knew where London was, and I knew where Devon was, and Wales is, and East Anglia, and Kent. I did because I knew Canterbury was at the bottom and Dover was at the bottom because I'd been to Dover. Also, Gemma, it's Adirondacks. Right, thank you. I now know how to pronounce it.
What is the pain in the ass?
Oh, but you can lose them for lives.
Yeah, I need my so yeah, that's that. You get that every time. Cool.
Maybe try jumping and then spinning on their face.
I figured it out. They're obviously on a delay there. It's you have to ground pound him first. Which I didn't think to do for ages because this game really makes the ground pound feel superfluous. But I've been doing it a lot here for these switches, but for the most part you don't really use it, especially in combat. So I just didn't think to. But it was just a process of elimination. It was like, there's only a few things that I haven't done yet with this boss. Like, it's got to be one of these. And eventually I figured it out. It's wait till he pops out, ground pound spin. It's just like, there wasn't any real logic to it for me. It was just...
Cobe, why are you assaulting that poor defenseless mole? That's not very cash money of you.
I apologise. It's not very big Keanu Chungus of me.
Dover, Delaware? No, there's a Dover in Kent. It's like where you go
As in
across
the
to
White
France.
Cliffs of Dover?
Yeah.
Like the song?
There was like Gemma is Blackadder is a Blackadder confirmed.
I don't know if people at home can see because obviously they're watching it in low res, but like this guy is so fluffy, like the fur, like it's so colourful and just appealing.
It's like, I am Confucian. Why is it Kansas and this one not Arkansas?
America, explain!
Why not Arkansas? Who is the greatest physical comedian in your opinion, Gemma? Like physical, as in like...
It's like slapstick, I guess.
Slapsticky. Okay, let me think. I mean, I quite like Laurel and Hardy. Yeah, but I was trying to say my favourite.
I'm gonna sound like I'm just. I know they're asking you what you're thinking, but I'm gonna sound like I'm just saying this because he's old. But I love Buster Keaton.
Buster Keaton's cool.
mostly feel like it's the fusion of comedy and stunts that I really like.
Hmm. You're making me think now. I'll do that while I leave the room. Because I need...
You get some more beer.
Yes, and also I need to go to the bathroom.
Okay, so when you return, you can do
Yes.
that was tougher than I thought. The bosses are usually very easy in these Mario games. Mind you, I'm quite far through it now, so. Oh, this video, this board game I worked on, just got a review come in. I'm going to read that. I'm going to skim through to see if my name pops up. Apparently it's a very, very positive review. Oh, it's a 5-star review, cool. Oh, I don't get mentioned. That's a shame. Still, glowing review, 5 stars, so can't complain. But I was the host. I'm like the black hole guy in Atmosphere. Oh fuck! I want to play Atmosphere. Been playing board games lately. Yeah, Network got a big 5-star review on some like games website.
Excellent.
Yeah, they didn't mention me in the review.
Oh,
I'm gonna fuck off to somewhere else now. I've been at Gusty Garden for a while. Where's the beers?
I forgot the beer. I'll go back up in a minute.
Freeze Flame. I think like Hellfire Peaks from Banjo-Tooie. Banjo-Tooie is a quality game.
It is.
Yeah, in terms of going back to this game, in terms of presentation, you know, actual game like controls, gameplay, and presentation, your graphics and sound, this doesn't feel like 2 fucking generations behind behind Odyssey to me. It feels maybe 1 generation behind Odyssey. It does not feel 2.
Answering your question about physical comedians, I had to think about it, and I couldn't decide between Benny Hill, Harpo Marx, and John Belushi.
I don't like Benny Hill.
No?
No. I don't think he's funny. In fact, very popular in America. What's really funny is that like he's always used when Americans are making fun of English comedy.
Yeah.
And yet, the Benny Hill show was cancelled in the UK and only produced for US audiences for years. So, you know, it's one I always like to try to throw back in their faces. And they usually say, "Shut up, I wasn't talking to you. Get out of my office once." And that's fair enough.
Yeah. I also like, you know, like things like, I think going... I'd say like... Yeah, I like Harpo Marx and like, yeah, Benny Hill. I think it's just because it's a nostalgic thing for me because my parents used to used to show it to me, and like I used to really like the kind of the fastest milkman in the West.
Where's that penguin? Am I supposed to catch the motherfucker?
I'm not the biggest fan of modern physical comedy because for the most part they just kind of they rely too much on just like basically going, "Is this funny, guys? Are we being funny?" And I never really liked the Three Stooges at all. I'm not the biggest fan of the Three Stooges, but I can completely see why they're such an inspiration to a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, like I like the way that Sam Raimi uses the Three Stooges in his.
Yeah, I always find like he is funnier than the Three Stooges stuff that he's copying.
Yeah.
I think his execution is just funnier.
Yeah.
It just tickles me more.
I would say like.
You know what I love Bulk and Skull. I want to talk about it as a great physical comedy duo. I'm just gonna say I grew up watching Power Rangers.
Yeah, Bulk and Skull were great.
They were like my generation's Three Stooges, you know?
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. And my mum and dad will never let me forget that I sort of ran behind a security guard and went and hugged the Power Rangers when they came to like to something I went to. Like I went and hugged Kimberly when I was like 2 years old, and the security guard just started chasing me. Bulk and Skull were golden gods. Yes, they were.
No, it's true.
And they were the ones that sort of like lasted longer than the actual like original Power Rangers.
They also have like the best story.
And the art.
Yeah, a lot of the time characters don't last very long on the show. They don't really get time to develop them because the show is very samey. It's just sort of fighting different monsters every week.
Like my favorite physical comedian is Doug Walker.
Silence peasant.
Yeah. A lot of people think I was like would you class Jim Carrey as a physical comedian?
Oh, I can't stand Jim Carrey.
Yeah. I don't know, cause like I know Saturday Night Live was really big in America and it still is. But like I only seen like
These blocks really just don't look happy, do they?
no.
They look fat.
They look like they've been thwomps that have like decided to kind of like that have decided that they've retired because they've eaten too much.
Yeah, like they look fat.
Yeah.
Overfed.
Gemma, you can't lie anymore. You didn't hug the Pink Ranger. You brushed up against her leg and meowed annoyingly until she gave you tuna.
You understand that Gemma is not H.P. Lovecraft's cat, right?
Gemma, if you want to abandon Earth and live in one of these galaxies, which one would you pick? The Honeybee Galaxy?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Because then I can be a bee for the rest of my life.
Just hanging out with bees.
Yeah.
So how many of you are in that stupid ant colony group on Facebook? Maybe I've seen you in there because I'm fucking in there. Toby added me and I was like, well, I guess this is my life now.
Yeah, he added me in there as well. I was like, what did Toby add me to? An ant colony? Jim Carrey is surprisingly good as a serious actor as in not doing comedy roles. Yeah, no,
I've only ever really enjoyed him as an actor, not as a comedian.
Yeah.
Like, I liked him in the Man on the Moon, where he plays Andy Kaufman.
I like him in The Majestic as well.
Yeah, I like The Majestic, and I know it's a film that was very mixed reviews, but
Truman Show.
I like The Majestic. I kind of like The Truman Show. I think it's a bit long and a bit pretentious, but yeah, I like it.
I do like The Truman Show a lot. I don't hate it, but I really thought Eternal Sunshine was really boring.
Oh, I didn't like Eternal Sunshine either. I'm glad you didn't like it, to be honest, because I feel a bit vindicated because everyone loves it except me.
Well, I'm also the same person who doesn't like The Descent. And
The Descent sucks.
Like me, you, Toby and Matt and your mum are the only ones that I know that doesn't like it. Although my mum was talking to me about The Descent the other day. She was like, I don't think I really liked it. It was too dark and everyone looked like...
Yeah, you can never see what's going on.
And I was just like, thank you, Mum.
Major like long night energy.
Gemma, I would live in the Beach Bowl galaxy. To be honest, like, I would also live there because penguins, but the Honeybee Galaxy exists. What ant-related activities have you been up to?
Work, mostly. Just work.
I've been literally bored out of my tree because I don't have a job anymore.
I just posted the word work on there, like, somebody was like, what do we do? And it was like this thing about how post about how an ant colony is taking over Facebook. Everyone was typing in that stupid all caps way, and it's just like, conquer, take over, and I just wrote, ignore work. I was like, because that's what an ant would do, you know? And then I realised, I'm too deep into this now, I'm acting like an ant. And I promptly signed out of Facebook for the rest of the day.
What's your opinion
Facebook's
on...
fucking stupid, I don't know why I have it.
What's your opinion on Norm Macdonald? I like Norm Macdonald. I think he's very, very funny. I really like him as Yaphet in the Orville as well.
Oh, the Orville's so fucking good.
Yeah, I actually saw one thing. I used to be in this group called Star Trek shitposting on Facebook, and I actually had to leave there the other day.
Well, it's like a whiny left book group, isn't it? Like, how can you be a shit poster if you're like perpetually offended?
Because I used to like it just from the start for the Star Trek names, but they always there's always people on there that just seem to think that the Orville is the worst thing in the world. One thing it was like
fucking modern Star Trek.
It was one of the things that came up was like, which character do you want to like yeet into oblivion? And it was Yaphet from the Orville, and I'm like, he had a great redemption arc. Anyway, but also that wasn't the thing that made me leave. What actually made me leave was this person saying that this person basically saying that if you like the Orville, then you cannot be an ally to trans people because Seth MacFarlane is a transphobic piece of shit because
Is he though?
Because of Family Guy in that, and I'm like, even though like the episode of TV and the episode of the Orville they were talking about was actually really handled like, you know, anyone that's sort of like, you know.
Well, because the episode isn't about transgenderism. I know exactly what episode they're talking about. It's about, you know, it's about cultural identity.
Yeah.
It's an episode about you know, the union getting involved in another culture's business.
Yeah, because obviously
it's kind of it's something that should be a Star Trek episode really. It's about, you know, the Prime Directive and you know, things that are known to kind of be accepted cultural, you know, for most people as sort of culturally terrible, you know, but this is another culture that's part of the union. Do we really want to force them to abide by our standards? If you haven't seen the episode, it's basically one of the main characters, Bortus, is a Moclan, which is an all-male species.
yeah, they would say that
All-male society, and there is a very, very rare birth defect, which is being born female. It very rarely happens. But they have a daughter, the two Moclans on the ship. And there's debate as to whether or not, because traditionally one would just have the child have gender reassignments to male. But everyone on the crew is really appalled by it, and they even try to sort of convince Bortus, well, no, you can't, you know, you can't force this kid to be something it's not. Bortus eventually comes around, but his husband doesn't. And they have this whole argument, and ultimately, the Moclan court decides that the reassignment will go ahead anyway, and the kid becomes their son.
yeah.
I'm not explaining it all that well because there's a lot of nuance to it. It's a very well written episode.
Yeah.
I think if you're offended by that, I think that's baggage you're bringing to the table, to be honest.
Yeah, one of the things they did bring up, as people have seen in the chat, they brought up Seth MacFarlane with the Quagmire's dad episode from Family Guy, was where, like, you know, Brian sleeps with her.
Oh, and Brian throws up.
For like
Brian's an asshole though.
for 60 seconds.
We're not supposed to fucking sympathise with him.
Yeah.
Have you not seen it? I swear it's like fairly close to that episode where Quagmire like rants at Brian for minutes on end about what a piece of shit he is.
So yeah, so wait, is the Orville actually good? It's really good.
It's amazing.
Uh-huh.
Like it really deserves to be a Star Trek show. It obviously isn't, but it is. I would say it's as good as the best episodes are as good as some of the best Next Gen episodes.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie and say that I'm like that I love Seth MacFarlane, because I don't. I think that he's very talented, but there's certain things that he's better
He's
at.
made some right crap, like Living Ways to Die in the West and the Cleveland Show.
And
I'm not even the biggest Family Guy fan. I don't think Family Guy's very good, to be honest. It's always things like The Simpsons that I've seen a lot of it. It doesn't necessarily, although I love early Simpsons.
I'd say early Family Guy was pretty decent.
Yeah, it was alright.
And then like American Dad was better, but again like it became
The Rogers Show.
the Rogers Show. But the thing is, what everyone seems to forget is that Seth MacFarlane is a huge Star Trek fan, and he's wanting to do a Star Trek show for
Unlike
ages.
Alex Kurtzman, who doesn't give a shit and has publicly stated he was more of a Star Wars kid growing up.
Yeah, so like, I'd say the Orville, and it's even got Brandon Baga, who's written some of the episodes of the Orville, who was one of the writers for like Next Gen and Deep Space Nine
It
and
does,
Voyager.
of the Star Trek shows, it feels the most like Next Gen.
And like and obviously it's more comedic, like it's got like but the comedy is very funny. I've never cringed at the comedy like
No,
I would
it's
so
like-
in Family Guy.
The pilot episode is because I'd say there are, especially the second season, there's a lot more drama than humour in the Orville after a while. But the first episode is very funny. Like the pilot is a little heavier on the comedy than the other episodes are, but well worth watching. But the pilot really cracked me up for like some certain moments.
Yeah.
The thing with if you've seen the episode, you know what I mean. Where it's just like, can I have one of these mints? It's like those are marbles. And just while he's in the middle of talking, just spits out this marble, which doesn't sound funny when described, but if you've seen the moment, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it was like it's the timing and
Yeah.
just like and there's just sort of the nonchalance of the joke.
Yeah.
But,
Don't get me wrong, if it was a Star Trek show, I would argue that Captain Mercer is one of the worst Starfleet captains in the history of Star Trek.
Yes.
Because, he's full of self-doubt and he breaks the rules and he's a little selfish. But he's not like a typical Seth MacFarlane character. He's not a complete asshole by any means. He's a good man. And he's a good captain in the sense that, he cares very much about his crew and he doesn't want to put them in danger and that sort of thing. But I mean, he's no fucking Jean-Luc Picard.
But it's also an ensemble cast as well. Like there isn't really any main character.
Yeah, it's to say again, it's like Star Trek.
Yeah.
The main character is the captain, but the other crew members all get episodes dedicated to them and stuff.
Yeah.
And like Star Trek, it's each episode is standalone.
And one of the best episodes was to do with I know the actor's name is Scott Grimes. He did the voice of the son in American Dad.
Yeah.
But I've forgotten what's his character's name again?
I don't know who he plays on the Orville.
The ginger guy.
Oh yeah, he's I can't remember the character's name either. He's the skipper though, isn't he?
Skipper, yeah. He has one of the best episodes, like he's sort of to do with himself.
Yeah. Is that the mobile phone one
Yeah.
with the holodeck?
Yeah.
No, it's really good. If you haven't seen the Orville but you like Star, I mean, I don't know even if you don't like Star Trek, but like especially if you like Star Trek, fuck me, you should watch the Orville. It's so good.
But Star Trek Discovery isn't.
Yeah.
Or Picard.
Yeah, New Trek is garbage. I really hate it, and I'm so glad the Orville exists to give me the feeling of watching new Star Trek. So I can bend the rules in my head. I can headcanon it a little bit that it is Star Trek,
And it's got some great.
The Union is the Federation and stuff, and that they just, for whatever reason, it's set at the same time as Enterprise, so they haven't discovered what is it beaming yet.
Also, as well, like they've got some really great sort of like cameos from Star Trek actors. Like you got like Marina Sirtis, who plays Troy, is in an episode, and like Robert Picardo is the Doctor in Voyager. He's in an episode or two, and so it's kind of nice just to see the kind of callbacks there. But what's the hardest book you've ever read, both of you? Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. But I love that book. But it was quite a slog.
The hardest book I've ever read was the Canterbury Tales. Just because it was hard to read, because it was in Middle English.
That
Which
was
is a pain in the arse dialect to read.
To be fair, I think when I read the Canterbury Tales, I read it with the English sort of translation, the sort of modern English translation. Just because I needed it for English literature. Yeah. Thoughts on Paul W.S. Anderson films? He's made a couple of good films.
I really like Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat's great.
I think that's his best film, and I like most of Event Horizon, but I think it goes a bit tits up, especially towards the end.
And I would say like the first Resident Evil movie isn't terrible.
It is. It's dreadful.
It's dreadful, but it's watchable.
I'm not sure I agree. I really don't like the first Resident Evil movie. I think they get worse. I think if you're grading on a curve next to the other ones.
I'm grading on a curve.
See, that's the thing. I'm just talking about it as an adaptation of Resident Evil, which is
Oh,
one of my
it's-
favourite video games. It's diabolical.
Yeah, it's diabolical as that, but I'd say like.
I'd say
It's,
Paul W.S. Anderson has made a lot more bad films than good.
yeah.
How do I even hit that from here?
Um,
Oh, I can't use first person aiming apparently. Okay.
You know what's just as bad as modern Trek? People who are amused by clay that changes colour in water.
What the fuck are you talking about? Is that like a joke I'm not in on?
Apparently that seems to be a thing. Or people that think slime's funny. Or relaxing, I don't know.
Oh, all that shit annoys me.
Reading War and Peace is a journey in itself. Gemma,
I've never finished War and Peace. It's too long.
Gemma, the first Resident Evil movie is terrible. I know it's terrible, but I would say it's watchable. I was able to watch it with Logan and not tear my eyes out. That's not really saying much, is it? Like, also I say that like the soundtracks kind of like reminds me of like being a kid.
Yeah, it's the soundtrack's nostalgic because I liked a lot of that music when it was new.
Yeah, like you got like Marilyn Manson and Slipknot and everything like that in there. It's like it's more of a nostalgia trip as opposed to it being a very. It's because it's nowhere near good. But I'd say like it's much better to watch than like Apocalypse or Extinction, and I didn't even bother watching the other ones like Afterlife and the Final Chapter, which are basically just like names.
Oh, okay. I can't jump in here even though I've got the fire flower. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I guess you couldn't in the old Mario games, but.
Alice versus Nemesis made me sad. Yes, it did. Made me sad too. So I didn't watch it again. Speaking of, we need to probably.
God, the Resident Evil movies are such shit.
They are. It was like we kind of need to like catch up with Resident Evil 2 remake so we can get the third one.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not that keen on the third game, it's still okay. Like it's still better than 5 and 6 and possibly even 7, I suppose. Because I don't know if you guys were probably. I mean, some of you guys were probably there when I streamed where Cobe and I streamed all of Resident Evil 7. But like, the first part of that game was really, really enjoyable to do, and then the second half was just a slog. And then the final boss was just spam.
It was just shoot up, wasn't it?
And then
The
it was
whole
like,
fight.
and then it was like, oh, the helicopter arrived, and Chris Redfield is here.
Don't care. I'd rather see Chris Reynolds.
Yes.
That'd be a twist.
That would be a twist. The Resident Evil movies are just a series about a guy simping for his wife. Yeah.
Oh, it's pure symmetry.
It's just like, I'm married Mila Jovovich. look how posh he is.
To be fair, I'd flex like that if I was him, because everyone slags him off. Like everyone is so mean to him. People talk to the same way they do Michael Bay, and like, you suck. I'd be like, yeah, but you should see my missus. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, true.
like, have you seen my wife?
Like you say that, like you don't have a wife to do that about.
I'm not married.
Yeah. I'll remember that.
I'm sleeping on the couch. It's my new song.
Jacob, have you read Empress Teresa?
I have not.
Someone posted it that we should do it on a stream. Laughter Stones to Abigail.
Oh, is that shit that was posted on my Twitter? It was like, hey, Cobe, you should read this, and like the worst cover art I've ever seen. I was like, oh my god, what the fuck is that?
I remember when we streamed the Lost Crown, still missing Nigel. Yeah, that was fun. I really enjoyed streaming the Lost Crown. Jacob didn't like it.
I did not.
But I had about 25, 26 people who were enjoying watching it and tuning in for every episode. And even the spin-off.
It was just like watching a really bad episode of Last of the Summer Wine.
It was so annoying.
Like the voice acting was so fucking bad, and like nothing happened in the entire thing. Anytime I walked in, nothing was ever going on.
You always missed the good stuff.
Right, the good stuff. Okay.
You did.
He's chatting shit, Gemma. Nothing happened.
People will back me up on this.
You have way too much faith in these people, Gemma. They don't back you up on shit.
And I'm not saying that.
Look at these little chubby little stars. Look at him.
Thank you.
Look at the things they come out with. Look at him.
Like, Nigel is king. Lost Crown was the best. George is divine.
He's got a secret, that one. How about this one? What's he got to say? Mama's going to read him a storybook.
Hey, Jacob.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mama is going to read me a storybook. Look at him. He's so blue and portly.
Yeah, he's lovely. Hey, Jacob, Gemma, why do you guys hate Harry Potter like it's overrated, but it's not that bad? I mean, come on.
I fucking hate it so much. Okay, so Harry Potter, I think, is it's repetitious for one thing. Every single book is the same, which is infuriating. The lore isn't very interesting or well developed, and the fan base, which is not the story's fault, but the fan base are the worst, the absolute worst. Every time anything happens on the news, like a tidal wave in Japan has killed thousands. Hey, this is just like in Harry Potter. Shut up! No, it isn't. Real people are dead from a real disaster. It's not like your stupid children's book. Stop it. Every fucking time.
Lumas are so huggable. Yes, they are. And Supernatural is just X-Files with less attractive protagonists. Alright, don't do me that like that.
Literally everyone in Supernatural looks like a supermodel. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Like, Dave Duchovny, yes, is
Like,
attractive.
when the least good-looking person in your show is Crowley, who is, you know, perfectly normal looking.
He's handsome.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, he's the least attractive one in the show, and even he's got plenty of fans, you know.
Yeah, like Jensen Ackles was going to play Superman at one point, like, and then he got then he ended up just being in Smallville as another character, and he was also a model.
This actually sparks an interesting conversation, or at least interesting to me, because I'm a movie guy. Castings that never happened that were supposed to.
Jensen Ackles is Superman.
So Jensen Ackles is Superman. Sam Neill auditioned for James Bond, and the footage is on YouTube. Apparently he felt embarrassed halfway through the audition, and you can kind of tell. Although the audition for the most part is quite good, but he kind of hits a wall during it. Apparently he just lost the moments, the performance in his head, and it was just like, I'm not going to get this. And it shows. I've also seen Cillian Murphy audition for Batman. Of course, he ended up getting the Scarecrow. I've seen Cillian Murphy auditioning for Batman in the Val Kilmer Batsuit.
Yep.
That's an interesting video.
That is an interesting video.
Just like a spinning top is so ridiculous.
It is. Morgan Freeman as Gandalf, wasn't it? Was one of them?
I don't remember if Morgan Freeman was. I know.
He was going to be Morpheus at one point.
I know. Sean Connery was considered for both of those roles.
Yeah.
Will Smith as Neo, since we're on The Matrix.
Someone just mentioned that too.
No.
Only homosexuals watch Supernatural for the cast. I mean, what about people?
But I just watch it for the story.
Yeah.
To be honest. That anytime I see a product plant rendered in 3D from the side, I just think of that image. It's like, say psych right now. I'm going to start still on him. I'm gonna get some things and stuff.
Bill
Destroy
Murray.
my enemies.
Bill Murray is Forrest Gump.
Oh, that would have been dreadful. I like Bill Murray.
Nick Cage is Superman.
Yeah, Nick Cage is Superman, of course.
I've got like a thing here, just so that we can come up with some. But Tom Hanks is Jerry Maguire.
We talked about this the other day. Tim Burton doesn't like to admit this because he always acts like, yeah, you know, Jack Nicholson was really the only person who could ever play the Joker because he just kind of has that. He's a movie star and he has that look, you know, that smile. He's the only person. You know, look, I wave my hands around. I've got scissors for hands. You know, my house looks like a cemetery. So he always says that. But according to Brad Dourif, Tim wanted him to be the Joker for quite a while, and they talked about it, and they couldn't. Basically, the studio couldn't agree to it.
Yeah.
So Brad Dourif as the Joker in the first Batman movie.
Did he also like and then Tim Curry was on like auditioned
In the
for
animated
the animated
version, yeah, Tim
animated
Curry.
version.
Apparently, Tim Curry was too scary, according to the urban legend. So I would love, having heard what Mark Hamill turned in, I'd love to know what the hell Tim Curry did that was too scary.
Harrison Ford was meant to be in Jurassic World.
Oh yes. Let's not talk about that again.
Yeah.
We're trying to stay positive on this stream, guys.
Supernatural is on my all-time favorite TV show. It's a really great show. It's up there like.
I like Supernatural. It is not as good as Buffy.
It's not as good
even
as
though
Buffy.
it desperately wants to be.
Yeah. Albert Finney was considered for James Bond before Connery was cast, if I recall correctly.
Pierce Brosnan was originally considered before Timothy Dalton, and then of course ended up playing it after him.
Mm-hmm. Sylvester Stallone as the Terminator.
O.J. Simpson as the Terminator. Now that's some real shit. Apparently the studio didn't think he made a very realistic killer.
I know before.
Apparently a jury of 12 felt the same way.
But before he killed himself, Chris Farley, well, he didn't kill himself, he had a drug overdose, but it was kind of...
Shrek, right?
Shrek, he was going to play Shrek. And he'd completed 90% of the dialogue that you can still hear like on some YouTube videos and stuff like that. And it was obviously a very different take after they like he was just basically this like everyday American guy.
Didn't Mike Myers start doing a Chris Farley impression and then for one deleted scene did the Scottish accent? And they're like, that's so fucking funny. Like that's the voice.
Yeah.
And they just re-recorded everything.
Yeah. Here's one. Ernest Borgnine is Vito Corleone.
What the fuck?
Uh-huh. Here's one as well. Here's another one. Courtney Love as Satine and Heath Ledger as Christian from Moulin Rouge.
Oh god, I hate Moulin Rouge so much.
Yeah.
That's a terrible movie.
It really is. Yeah, we had people like you had Jude Law, Henry Cavill, Mel Gibson, Adam West, Burt Reynolds, and Clint Eastwood were all considered for Batman, not for Batman, for Bond.
I know Adam West was at one time. James Bond needs to be British. Like, I know it's acting and you can put the accent on, but it's an institution, you know? It's like Doctor Who.
Ashton Kutcher was also considered for the role of Batman. Kelso was considered for the role of Batman.
He will always be Kelso to me.
Yeah.
I saw him in that shitty movie, he was in the Butterfly Effect, right? That was him?
Yeah, that was him.
Oh, that was so bad.
Robin Williams was also almost cast as Jack Torrance in The Shining.
It's a couple of he lost out to Jack Nicholson a few times.
Yes, he did. Yeah, O.J. Simpson is the Terminator. Arnold Schwarzenegger as King Koopa in the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh god. I think that would have actually been worse.
Than Dennis Hopper.
Yeah, I really do. I think Schwarzenegger would have been even worse.
Phil Hartman is Zach Brannigan. You're gonna make me cry. Phil Hartman didn't deserve to die.
Well, duh. Like on a fucking nuclear take there, Gemma.
No, he didn't deserve to die. His wife, even though his wife did end up killing herself afterwards. I will forever hate her for that. And she appeared in that movie North.
What do you hate his wife for?
Killing him.
Right, she killed him.
And also
I
for the
didn't
fact
know
that she was in North.
I thought, yeah, you hated her because she was in North.
Yeah, no, and also the fact that she killed him.
I didn't know she killed him.
Yeah, it was murder-suicide.
Huh.
It was like he was the nicest man in the world, and she was like abusive and everything.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it. I just knew he died.
Yeah, no, it was a very, very, very like horrible tragedy. That actually, like, The Simpsons like stopped recording for the day because of it.
Yeah.
I miss Phil Hartman. Yeah, Robin Williams as the Joker, then the Riddler. It's like, Kelso, I watched that kid glue a hand to his face. Is this Mario Galaxy 1 or 2? It's 1.
1.
Like, Ashton Kutcher will never not remind me of Kelso. He's pretty much, he's just Kelso in my eyes. Just like Topher Grace will always be Eric Foreman, and not Venom. And when obviously when Laura Prepon was in Orange is the New Black, I'm just like, what's Donna doing in the Orange is the New Black with black hair?
I'm gonna be so fucking precise, but there we go. The parkour lads. Nope, too fast. Nope, too fast, cool.
Who would win in a fight, Jew Warrior or Jimmy Savile?
I mean, is it a fight or is it like a molestation contest? Because like, it's just a competition for like, who can best molest, then Jimmy Savile unlocks it. If it's a fight though, also Jimmy Savile.
Tom Selleck was cast as Indiana Jones, almost cast as Indiana Jones. And Kurt Russell was Han Solo.
I'm aware of. I've seen Kurt Russell's audition tape.
Yeah.
It's dreadful. He's awful in it.
Yeah. Tom Cruise as Tony Stark.
That would have never worked. He's too egotistical. He would have had too much creative control.
Mm-hmm. John Travolta as Forrest Gump, and Chevy Chase was also considered.
He's bulbous.
Robin Williams was also almost cast as Willy Wonka in the remake. We do not speak of Topher Grace's Venom Milne. You know how I am about comic books, and that one, it still hurts, okay? How could you guys forget Jimmy Savile was going to be the Predator? Gemma, what would you do to restore YouTube to its original 2007 version? And just have the Wayback Machine just work for the whole internet, like, in general. And just... Because here's the thing. I much preferred Bebo to fucking you like Facebook. At least you got to pick like your like backgrounds and you got to choose like music.
One of the things that there was somebody put up on Twitter or Instagram. There was like there should be an update where you can like where someone clicks on your profile and your favorite song plays, so they know what your jam is. And I was like, we're officially at that point now where motherfuckers don't know what MySpace was. Like,
I know.
We are now the boomers.
I used to have my favorite song on MySpace. I really just went on MySpace for the surveys. When are you playing Shadow the Hedgehog?
Probably tomorrow or the next day, soon, because I've said I would, and I'll get paid for it. So, well, I've been paid for it, so yeah, I'll do it soon.
We just didn't want to have more negative stuff, alright?
I mean, I know we've said some fairly negative things today, but like overall, it's been quite a like positive, light-hearted stream.
Yeah.
I'd like to keep it that way.
Yes.
So yeah, Shadow the Hedgehog, not so much.
No.
That's going to be a very, very grumpy experience.
The quadrupedal Koopas in this game weird me out a bit too. Oh my god, the jellyfish are so cute.
I like the way Mario puffs out his cheeks when he's holding his breath underwater.
Yeah.
I actually genuinely love that.
Yeah, I noticed that earlier. I was like, oh. Aren't there Luma plushies? If they are.
Probably, yeah. It wouldn't surprise me.
Return of the Mac would obviously be your channel thing. It's from Return of the Mac by that guy who said Return of the Mac.
That's enough shit.
I had Breathe by The Prodigy as my MySpace song. I could hear the pain in Cobe's voice when he's saying he's playing Shadow the Hedgehog. Yeah, this is a calm place. I can't remember what my MySpace song was. I mean, I knew it was like something I really liked back in like 2005. But like, what I would want it to be was all the small things, but by Kids Bop.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Na 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 na.
I love how it's just like a grown ass man as well.
Yes.
All the small things. There's like occasional children going, yeah! Na 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 na.
Or just like Bad Day.
There are certainly fewer kids in Kids Bop now.
There's like just the song Bad
Oh
Day.
god.
This
Yeah!
is the moment I needed the most. Woo! That cracked me up earlier.
Okay, how do I leave? I'm stuck in the water.
I wish I was old enough to experience old school MySpace.
It was great. It was terrible. It was like beautiful golden chest. I would only open for the golden shell. What's inside? It's Captain Toad. How'd that motherfucker get in there? How long has this chest been there? There's like a little altar and everything. I saw Captain Toad this morning. I got a lot of questions.
It's Captain Toad. He's got a torch on his head.
Well,
So
yeah, that
cute.
is for me. What are you going to do with it? You haven't got your own game yet. It's the year 2007. Hey!
Hey guys, remember when you two made your first video together on BCP and Gemma was the patron, so you read a story with her? Still love that episode. Oh yeah, I remember that. I was so nervous and I kept giggling. And also sounded much more Scottish than I am. I was speaking to your mum the other day and your mum was just like, your accent's really gone. Like, it's starting to really disappear. And I'm like, oh.
She probably meant it as a compliment.
I know.
I think it's the difference between you and her is that she's never liked her own accent, so to her, losing it is a nice thought.
Yeah, no, I completely was like, no, I could completely see it, and like part of me is just like, yeah, I like the way that my voice sounds now, but part of me is just like, but am I losing my identity?
No, you're still you.
Yeah.
Mario will win because he burger.
Old school MySpace was still garbage, yeah, it was. I think the only reason I remember MySpace was from I think the only reason I remember MySpace was from a 2009 episode of Arby and the Chief, in which the owner of the account was mocked for having one.
I got Facebook when I went to uni because like everybody. I remember having MySpace, then I went to uni, and every time I met someone at a party, which was all the time, so I did new work, it was just like, "Hey, dude, you on Facebook?" I was like, "Oh, what's your Facebook?" I'm like, "The fuck is Facebook?" Ooh, only climb.
Yeah, I had MySpace, then I migrated over to Bebo between like 2006.
Bebo was fucking shite.
I loved it.
It was so awful.
And
It was barely functional.
And then I migrated to Facebook in 2009 when I was.
Do you remember when Facebook was new and you could like draw on people's walls?
Yeah, I used to love doing
Like
that.
draw a picture.
Oh, it's a bee. Mary's a bee. Is it true that Scotland and Ireland hate each other?
I think it's just stereotypes, isn't it? You know, it's people always have these stereotypes about countries. In general, no, countries, unless they're at war, generally don't hate each other.
No.
You know, I make jokes about the French all the time. I have French friends. You know, they're just jokes.
Yeah. I have some Irish friends. Was it when the guy's computer was literally melting? Yes. I remember that episode because I remember you guys Skyped me and you just finished doing Clockwork.
Oh god, we must have been so drained of energy. I apologise.
Well, yeah, you got me to read the whole story. You're like, Gemma, you want to read? just read.
Oh dear, Mario, he fall.
Oh dear. Oh, you're still live? Hey, Cobe, Gemma, what do you
mean to say we're still alive? Because yes,
Yeah.
somehow we are.
It's like, hey, Cobe, Gemma, what do you... Oh, wait. Hey, Cobe and Gemma, what do you guys think of BitChute?
So I have a BitChute account I don't use. I mean, that's it, really.
I don't have
I don't
one.
really understand it. I think one of my videos is on BitChute, and I never did anything else with it. I was like, this is stupid.
I remember you put one on Vimeo, and then Vimeo died.
No, I didn't put it on video. I put it on Vidly.
Vidly, that's it.
It was like, I think it was Vidly or one of those websites, like tweeted at me. And they were like, I said something like, oh, I'm interested in finding an alternative to YouTube. And they were like, hey, we'd love to have Bad Creepypasta on our platform. And I was like, oh, cool. And then they went bankrupt like a week later. I was like, well, never go into business with me, guys. That's the moral there.
Oh.
Never get yourself cobed. It's a bad situation.
It's not a bad situation. It's like, oh, you're still alive? Yeah.
Hans Gruber, consider yourself grooved.
Since boomers use Facebook, millennials use Tumblr, Gen X uses Twitter, and Gen Z uses Instagram, who uses MySpace? No one.
What was the generation before boomers called?
Oh. The war kids.
The war kids!
I don't know.
Boomers, you dumbass!
I know. I'm trying to think. It's 11 o'clock. It's 12:30. It's half past midnight. I do think war kids sounds cool.
This is some bullshit, by the way. I hate these like gauntlet levels.
I have to look it up. What was the Great Depression? Was it me? What was... Oh, there was the Greatest Generation, the Silent Generation, then the Baby Boomer Generation.
So Silent Generation.
The Silent Generation.
Yeah. The Silent Generation used MySpace. There you go.
Yeah.
They're all dead, but I mean, the few that are alive and like the news brings out for like Veterans Day, those guys, they're using MySpace to talk to their war buddies.
Yeah, you know what the new generation is called? The one after Logan? Gen Alpha.
That's fucking lame.
I know.
They're just gonna do the whole alphabet again, aren't they?
Yeah, Gen Alpha. It's like the war kids. What the hell, Gemma? What the... War Kids fan art incoming. Gemma about Morgs Fest. Did it sell out? I'm just gonna say stupid things that I've said in the past. Hey Jacob, will you be making any more episodes of the Ghost Train podcast?
Possibly.
When we get people around
we
again.
probably could do it during quarantine because we could probably do it over Discord. It's just like, obviously, normally with the films, we'll get a couple of us will own hard copies. We can lend them out and things.
Yeah. I think that's my great-grandmother's generation. As of writing this, she's still alive and she's 98. Nice. Like my oldest grand...
Just picturing them all like messaging each other on their MySpace. Just like, hey Bill, remember when you lost 3 fingers in Korea, the Mao?
Dying. In a cruel twist of irony, Gen Alpha sounds like beta as hell. Like the War Kids generation. You're not wrong, since they were born after World War I and during World War II. See, I wasn't wrong. I just named it something different.
I was like, you weren't wrong in the, other than the sense you were incorrect.
Yeah, I just named it something different. Look, that was Lucozade is still the platinum standard.
Yeah.
That has so many memes. Yeah, the whole generations thing was the lost generation, the generation of 1914 is the birth start in 1890, birth end in 1915. The interbellum generation, which is 1901 to 1913. The greatest generation is 1910 to 1924. The silent generation...
What makes them the greatest generation?
G.I. Joe? I don't know.
What?
So the greatest American...
That's the real American hero.
I thought it was the greatest American hero.
No, you're thinking of Action Man.
That's it.
Action Man, the greatest hero of them all.
That's it. I mixed them up. It's nearly 1 a.m.
Guys, it is 1 a.m. right now.
The greatest generation, 1910, 1924. The silent generation,
This
which
is bizarre. This is true.
the silent generation, 1925 to 1945. The baby boomer generation, 1946 to 1964. Generation X, 1965 to 1979. The Zennials, 1975 to 1985. Millennials or Gen Y, 1980 to 1994. iGen or Gen Z, the iGen or Gen Z, 1995. Yeah, 1995 to 2012. So that's Logan and Gen Alpha for 2013 to 2025.
That is fucking lame.
seriously, if someone said the War Kids generation, I would think some Africa-only classification.
It's the child soldier generation.
It's like, where did that was Lucas 8 come from? It was a Legend of Zelda stream that we did like last year. Was it?
I think it was this year, just early.
Oh no, it wasn't this year. It was definitely last year when we were playing Legend of Zelda, like me and you.
Yeah. Do you think it was?
Yeah, it was that.
Okay,
It was that long ago. It was quite like it was about a year ago.
Let's be careful.
Because if it was this year,
Very careful. Right. Whoop.
because if it was this year, I'd have broken my foot, and I'd spent most of my year with a broken foot.
Losing track of time at the moment.
I remember the 1900s when we put people on the moon.
And yeah, that's just. I just perhaps I overreacted a little bit to that. It just annoys me when people are like, no, it's okay when you say 1800s. It's just not okay for the 20th century.
Yeah.
It's okay to refer to the entire freaking thing, the entire century, as the 1800s, but not when you're the 20th century. I'm like, why?
It's like Agent Paradox goes, psh, believe in the moon. Yeah, was that during like your Laughing Jack, original Laughing Jack, when like they
Yeah.
called it the 1800s?
And I was saying, well, that's no, because that's not the 1800s. That's like the 1880s. We were going, well, so that means the whole century. I'm like, well, no, it doesn't. And even though like it is acceptable, like to use it, it shouldn't be. It doesn't make sense. So that's the argument I used. Was like, oh yeah, in the fucking 1900s when we landed on the moon and invented the internet.
The only thing that
It doesn't make sense.
the only time it makes sense is if you do something. If you say like the early 1900s, the mid 1900s.
No, because even then it
the
doesn't.
late
Just say
1900s.
just say if you're gonna do 1800, if you're gonna do like 1850, just say mid 19th century.
Yeah, I know that. I'm saying I'm more going like that's what some people would do,
It's fucking
but
stupid,
like but that's the only way that you could, I would say okay, maybe then that's all right, but for the most part just use century. Remember the 2000s where Gemma broke her foot and admitted to being Lovecraft's cat? Yeah, that was great. All the small things was all the rage. The film Gladiator came out. Well, you did not overreact, Jacob. There's no excuse for anything in order to Laughing Jack. I think the worst part, though, is that they called it London Harbour.
There's a lot of problems with it. Again, the whole poverty thing when it's meant to be the fucking 1800s and he's poor and yet his neighbour has a domestic pet and he can read and goes to boarding school. I'm just like,
He's not working. He's not in the workhouse.
Yeah.
Living on gin. Dying of dysentery and cholera. Didn't he play the piano?
no.
I was pretty sure at least one story where where they played the piano. I thought that was that one. I wouldn't have been surprised. No, he wasn't in the 18th century. That's the 1700s.
Yeah. Who said that?
Anya.
Oh, okay.
Remember 2000 when the biggest movie of the year was Mission Impossible 2? Didn't that come out in 98?
I don't fucking know.
So I'm pretty sure, because like... 'cause that's when Limp Bizkit was still big.
Limp Bizkit was still a big way into the 2000s.
Yeah, they were. I would say like early. Like I would say like 2001 was when then they.
Yeah, because like right up until like, you know, Kerrang! Magazine was like a big thing in like 2004, 2005.
They were still big.
They were
in
still
then.
making music then, yeah.
Jesus, like. I think the last song I remember them releasing was Behind Blue Eyes. Their cover of Behind Blue Eyes for Gothica, and that was like 2003. So that's when I assumed they stopped doing anything because they would have got like panned. I do remember Metallica also did a song for Mission Impossible 2. It was 2000. Ah. You know what I was thinking that 1998 was? Because I know that Mission Impossible came out in 96. Something came out in 1998 that's in my head.
Yes, something came out in 1998, yeah. Yes, I should think so.
That's something that I'm associating with Mission Impossible 2. My favourite BCP episode is the candy cane one due to the chain of suicide jokes being darkly hilarious. I don't remember candy cane.
Not really, no. It's...
The last one I remember properly was Judge Angels because of my comment about Catherine of Aragog, which no one will ever let me forget.
Yeah, I mean that was just preposterous. Like, there he is, exactly. Yeah, the postman. The postie toad.
It's like my favourite BCP episode is probably the Christmas Krampus, just because of Cobe's rant about the ukulele, a perfectly legitimate instrument.
I don't like the ukulele.
I don't
feel,
like that.
That was very, I don't like sound the way I said that, but it's true. It's a very hipster instrument, you know, just think. So somewhere, a couple in an apartment is recording an acoustic cover of a rap song. There's nothing you can do to stop them. Oh god, he's reaching for the ukulele.
The thing is, what I associate with the ukulele is like, every time I see a guy with a man bun, and like, really like, with a really coiffured beard, all I can hear is like, he comes with his own ukulele music. The candy cane string of suicide deaths was hilarious. Not as funny as Catherine of Aragog, though.
Catherine of Aragog, it was clear what you meant. It was an obvious slip.
Yes.
But the potential for laughs was too great for me to leave it alone.
Yeah, it was a slip, and it's like a Freudian slip. Oh, you mean the weird suicide version of The Woman Who Swallowed a Fly? I love those jokes. I remember that now that you've mentioned that.
I can't remember it.
I don't remember the jokes per se, but I remember the whole tangent we went off of the woman who swallowed a fly, perhaps she'll die. Will this stream be a full playthrough of this game?
I mean, it's quite a long game, so probably not, to be honest.
No. It's like
it's not long by the standards of like an RPG or something, but you know, it's still a game that's not meant to be played in a single sitting. B, he's positively regal. Look at his little ruff.
I love that one too. I remember how Henry VIII had hundreds of children who were also spiders. My favourite episode of BCP is tied between Jane the Killer, Jeff versus Michael Myers, Dead Channel, and It Will Get Worse. My favourite BCP episode is still How Jeff Killed Christmas. I loved that one. I really did that one. I really liked that one. My favourite BCP episode was The Truth Behind Super Mario. And my favourite was Silent Sonia, especially because of what a spurg the author is.
So she had a nice voice, and we all called her Sinya. I was like, fucking what?
I still love Dog Bites. That one still, it was like short and sweet, that one.
Yeah, I like Dog Bites. I have a special place in my heart for Dog Bites, definitely.
And I also really like Mario too. And Jeff versus Michael Myers is also very funny. I think the editing in that one's really funny as well.
Some of the real human being bits.
Yeah. They got cut out.
I got a fucking copyright claim for that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, especially on the season 2 playlist video, it was like, it's a fucking 8-hour video. You're really gonna say, see, for 20 seconds you play a bit of the song, therefore people don't need to buy the record because they can just tune into your 8-hour video. Like, come the fuck on.
Yeah, I also do like Jane the Killer. That one's funny because Vince 12 was really really good in that episode, and with Big Jane Lebowski, and
it was one of those times where we just really ran a joke into the ground.
yeah.
It's just like, it's Jane, but what if she's like enormously fat chain smoker?
It was the voice that he did for it. I also do like the original Jeff the Killer one, just for because I think it was like, I mean, the first one I ever saw was that Soul Eater one. But I think I because I subscribed after that one, but then I think what I watched after that was Jeff the Killer, and then I was like, yeah, this was a good idea.
I can't believe you carried on watching after Soul Eater. Like, I want to apologise to everybody for the quality of that episode. Like, we've released some right crap over the years.
The only one I really didn't like was Kirby's Deadland.
Oh, that was bad. That was not funny.
Also, Thomas is fun. I like Thomas. I especially like every time where you impersonate Jeremy Kyle.
There it is. You scum. Come and be my Punch and Judy show.
It's like, I take it back. My favourite is Dead Channel. Just picturing Cobe and Matt at either end of Toby's dad is scarier than any movie I've ever seen. Someone said they liked Meeting Ben Drowned's sister, and I was like, I remember that one.
I don't. I know that's an episode we did, but I don't remember it.
Yeah. I remember some of the ones I've been part of. Like, I remember the one that I did.
They do all start to blur into one after a while.
Yeah, like I remember the first one I did. I remember the first one I did with Matt, and that was the Jeff the Killer 2015 edition. And I remember the Haunting Melody because of Matt going on about the tambourine.
Oh god! Yeah, there was like the kids were really upset that their valuable instruments were missing,
Yeah.
and some other kid lost his tambourine. I'm like, who the fuck cares?
I remember being part of that one because I couldn't stop laughing. And then after that, I remember Ronald McDonald's house because I was like on fire with the making puns that day. And then and apart from that, like I remember Judge Angels, and that was about it. Everything else kind of was like, oh yeah, I remember this one. And then I'll maybe rewatch it and be like, oh, I said that? Huh. Alright.
Where's the star bit? Oh shit.
I was like, I'll give you beers if you kill Ben. They were drowning him, Gemma. No! I have the B. Luigi figure. Oh.
just love the bees. This one's like, I wanna. Yeah, he's like, what is it? He says, I want to stump in a stump. I want to stump a stump. Well, just do it, my dude. Follow your dreams. You can achieve your goals. I am living proof.
It's like the Gemma, can you sing some? Gemma, can you sing something for us? I'm not gonna, cause my nose is like, I'm really not well at the moment. Unless you want to hear like a really like nasally version of a song, I really don't want to. Also, YouTube can be mean. They'll be like, I heard you singing a song and we know the lyrics too.
There it is. No, that's not the one. That's the one I got earlier. So there was one over here I saw earlier on. You know, it's just Where in God's name did I see it?
Gemma, sing the DK Crew rap. I just no.
That's his coconut gum can fire and spurt.
Like, not funny. Didn't laugh. Cobe, do you know how bees mate?
I actually don't. Somebody told me once, but I don't remember. I know it's weird.
DK Donkey Kong. It's the best you're gonna get. Someone asked if you saw the mystery coin in the abyss.
I don't think I do. Any other time, my eyes kind of sting.
Yeah. Plus, I want to go to bed in my nice company. You like it?
I saw a little fucking blue chip around here. There it is.
To this day, Gemma's feet ache and are sore. When bees mate, doesn't it always produce a female and the unfertilized ones are drones or male honeybees? Someone confirm that in the chat, because I don't know. I'm pretty sure, I know somebody told me the other day and I've already forgotten.
I don't know that shit. He goes really high, doesn't he? And you can't fly with this shit, so. I'm getting star bits at this point.
BDism. BD's like BDism. I need to go to bed. I shouldn't be laughing at that.
I'm gonna get this star and then I'm gonna call it.
Alright.
Whoops. Where did I see that other star chip now? Because I found them all except for the one I just got, before dying. And I can't remember where that last one is. It's a ball egg.
Why do you guys think all the slasher passes are as bad, or is it just because of Jeff? It's like I was saying earlier on. It's because of laziness.
I think if you've got nothing to draw on, like if your inspiration is Jeff the Killer, like you're doomed to fail. If that's your idea of a good story.
Yeah. Also, like.
Do you know what I mean? Like if that's the benchmark you want to live up to.
Also, when you think of slasher movies, how many of them are good? When you compare them to the influx of slasher movies that came out in like the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, there's only really a few of them that have original stories, and even then none of them can be, and even then after that they're all been done, so they can't be original really. What do you call bees that make milk? Boobies. He's having a nap. I want a nap. It's so cute.
I'm so fucking tired, my brain is just like melted.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on anymore?
Cobe, have you ever...
Like, how do I Super Mario?
Cobe, have you ever played Buck Bumble?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
How do I do the Mario?
Biddity Buck Bumble. It's like Silent Sonia also had a Jacob... has Jacob being angry that a character shared his name and Sonia being an African warlord. I remember that episode very fondly. We're gonna go to bed to catch some bees.
What?
Instead of Z's. Like, you know how like the Americans say Z's? Like, when you sleep?
I'm even moving a straight line right now.
Cool. Have you ever eaten a VHS tape?
I answered this question the other day. No, but I have swallowed VHS cleaning fluid. I was a toddler
Yeah, you have to.
and I had to go to hospital.
You have to elaborate that.
I burned my lips to pieces. And my mum thought they'd be permanently scarred.
I remember her telling me that.
It comes in like a little bottle, like a baby bottle, almost. And I'm a stupid toddler. Mum turned her back for a moment. Boom, Oh, have me some of this. Oh, that's VHS cleaning liquid. I see. I see what I've done. I need to go to the hospital. I was very calm, toddler.
It's like, my lips are burning off.
I'm in tremendous pain.
So you're just Chief from Brooklyn Nine-Nine with everything.
It's like, Mother, it is my birthday. As you can see, I'm ecstatic. Woo!
So I think that's what you call observational humor.
This game is fucking great. I've had a wonderful time streaming it. We do so much garbage on this channel. So many things we hate. I've had a genuinely pleasant evening sitting here, having a couple of cold beers from the fridge and playing a game that isn't complete anal cancer. So yeah, what a pleasant surprise.
Yeah. B headphones Beats by Dr. Dre. It's the chat, I'm just reading them out. Like, I remember many moons ago someone asked Cobe on stream, have you ever eaten pine cone? He sighed and said, I literally have the worst fans classic moments.